It's Chris, aka Star Raptor, here for our third time doing this Game of the Year 2025. JT was here last year, Fighter was here last year, but we are joined by a new person in the chat. We have DarthPeanut in the chat. So thanks everybody for joining us. I look forward to doing this every year. Big year for games, from RPGs to strategy games to narrative adventures and shooting games and everything in between. It's been one heck of a year. We're going to count down our top three roundtable kind of discussion, and we'll have a fun other few categories we'll sprinkle in the mix here. But first of all, thanks guys for joining me. DarthPeanut, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your history with gaming and whatnot?
Oh God. I've been gaming since like my earliest memories. I remember having like the NES, like on the mantle and stuff. And yeah, I've been playing ever since.
Yeah, man, I started with the Atari, so I'm there with you. I was playing my cousin's Nintendo Entertainment System back in the day, but yeah, I know how it goes, going way back, going way back. But yeah, great to have you on board. I know we've been DMing through Discord with Pokemon a lot, back and forth throughout earlier in the year. So I was like, I got to get you on because you're one of my gaming buddies I talk to often. So.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Great to be here, and hopefully I don't lull the conversation.
Yeah, so throwing it over to the JT back once again, man. How's everything?
Uh, Everything's good. It's going all right. Keeping myself busy with all of the games. And excited to have this long conversation again.
Yeah, I think we were talking pre-recorded. We were talking. The last one, I was like, I don't remember. JT's like, oh, it took us like almost 3 hours. Like, oh, okay. Let's see if we can maybe make it a little bit more brief than that. But yeah, it's been good, and I pushed this discussion as late as we could get into the year, Jesse, because it was I was getting down to the wire with a certain game I was playing, and I was like, I gotta get it in there, but I gotta beat the game to talk about it because the same thing happened last year when I wanted to put Dragon Age the Veilguard on my list, and I never finished the darn thing until January the following year, or this year would have been. So I was happy that I was able to get to that. But last but not least, we got Fighter in the chat. You were on my channel not too long ago. We were talking about Destiny for a good hour and a half with the Renegades expansion, with the Star Wars crossover. So that's how I finagled you onto my Star Wars podcast. But here we are once again on the Gaming Game of the Year podcast. So how's it going?
It's good. It's really good. Looking forward to seeing what everyone else has to share. You and I obviously work together, so we share our lists pretty decently. But it's going to be interesting to see what the other two gentlemen have to say for what they played this year.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. So to break the ice on this installment of Game of the Year on the channel here, I'm gonna go around the room. We're gonna just talk about, hey, some games we played this year that actually weren't out in 2025, that came out sometime before 2025. So I'll throw it over to DarthPeanut. I know you got quite a few games. You're telling me that you're like, oh crap, I might not have three up front for new games, but I've played a lot of old games. I know you have more than three for this year, but yeah, just some highlights of some games you played from pre 2025.
Oh God. I started playing Helldivers 2 again.
Yep.
Because I think it made its jump to the consoles earlier this year, I believe it was, whenever it finally jumped over to Xbox. So a bunch of buddies got it. So I was like, I'll pick it up again. So I played that one, not religiously or anything, but like it was definitely like a weekly game for a while. And then a couple of anime fighters. I've been playing like Naruto.
Huh.
From the Ultimate Ninja series, been playing those games again. But
I remember it was me, you and Fighter, I think, at one point that were playing Helldivers in the same match.
I was going to ask, was it him and Jesse and maybe JT? I don't know if he was there. I just remember clear as day. Chris, go with Fighter. ends up crossing my lane of fire and catches a 50 cal round.
That was with our buddy Johnny. We wish he could be here tonight, but he has some personal matters he has to attend to. So he did send us in a list, but we're going to rattle off. Hopefully JT knows the list because he said it in our private chat like weeks ago. It seems like at this point. So I'm like, oh crap, what did he say?
JT now nervously trying to search for the list.
Scrolling.
Yep. But while he's buying time doing that, what games have you played that didn't come out this year over the Fighter?
I dove back into Division 2.
Ooh.
I haven't played Division 2 in such a long time, and I've heard that they've been doing a lot of updates to the game, a lot of new building methods that you could do. So when I dropped off there, I couldn't really get my head around build crafting in the Division. It just seemed a little too much, but now it seems like it's very simplified, where my tech build will support myself and my team, which is a good play style that I like. I like being that high tech guy that's always buffing my team's tech support and being able to block off enemy routes in case they're trying to get smart. So that was definitely a fun little refresh of be going back in. I actually think I'll go back in. I'm taking a break again because 2025 had so many good games to play. I think I'll go back because I think they're going to do maybe one more expansion or something before the next installment of Division or the next major install of the franchise.
Yeah, I have fond memories, especially of the first Division. I played the heck out of that game. I mean, talk about extraction shooters. I know everybody's so hot on Arc Raiders. Everybody that I know is telling me to play the game. Even the guy that sold me a car was telling me to freaking play the game. So I'm like, all right.
I think a $30,000 car, but can I persuade you to play Arc Raiders?
Yeah. So basically. But yeah, that's the thing with these long these long multiplayer games that go on for years and years and years. They morph into other ones. Like it's just Division 1 goes into Division 2. I know they had the Brooklyn DLC, which is cool because I want to play it just simply because I like playing games that are set in Brooklyn because I'm there all the time. So it's like, oh, this is basically my backyard.
Because the Brooklyn expansion, it's like not even like a huge expansion. It's like a very small, conclusive Brooklyn story. But being able to see these zones from Division 1 era being brought up to Division 2 standards was like, I remember this mission. I remember being over here. So it's a good breath of fresh air to be like, wow, I really remember back in the day of Division 1. And like you said, being able to see the transitions from 1 to 2, maybe hopefully we'll get a Division 3, where they just continue to build on top of what was already successful from those two games.
Awesome. What about you, JT? What's some older games you played this year?
Older games this year. I remember earlier in the year, I started doing some playthroughs of classic Call of Duty campaigns. So, well, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, all those classic old ones, just to
the good ones.
The ones that we have fond memories of
before the fall. But recently I've been playing a ton of Elden Ring again. Last year, around like the DLC came out last year, I hadn't really touched it that much. In the past week, I've gone through the game and the DLC twice now. So that's been most of my time outside of the newer games that came out this year.
Yeah. Well, going back to Call of Duty, like I'm still waiting for most of those games to get back to Game Pass one of these days because I do want to go back and do the same thing you were doing because. I mean, say what you will about the multiplayer and all that, but I always like to just play through the campaigns. That's how I've always been with these shooter games. I might mention another shooter game actually on the current list for this year. But yeah, no, it's I watched you playing I seen you played Elden Ring. I was like the one night I was like Elden Ring, and you're like, why do you care? Something like this is how the power of this game is. Like the game is what over 2 years old at this point, and people are still mining that game for everything it has in it and still finding new things. That's the power of good
Oh
open
yeah,
world games.
I'm I'm I, like my fifth playthrough of it, and I just found out that you can use your health flask while you're climbing a ladder. Like it, the depth in that game is endless.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I think
So
last year I did my first playthrough of Elden Ring, and
yep.
and my buddies, because I had people helping me out, I almost got every trophy or every achievement besides the two other endings that you could get. And for being not a Soulsborne player or something like that, I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the challenge that it brought. So I 100% agree with that.
Mm. As far as me, this was a big year for backlog games or games going way back. I played games, guys, that I'm pretty sure came out maybe even before I was born this year. It's crazy. I got a Nintendo Switch 2 and I took a deep dive into the history of Nintendo, starting with
Oh
the
boy,
man with
together.
the hat and the mustache. I went back and I played Super Mario World, then I went into Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, and I just recently at least got the credits rolled on Odyssey, but I'm nowhere even near like 100% in these games. But I'm just kind of taking a tour through the memories of Nintendo, playing the best of the best to, see where this hardware got me and all that sort of thing. So been loving that, Another memorable thing that I played through right before my trip to Japan was I played through Ghost of Tsushima. And I know that came out recently on PC. The game has been out for like 4 or 5 years, period. So it's not new. But oh man, playing that game was awesome because it's so stylistic. You really get immersed into the world of Japan and the plight of this character and just the way the HUD was designed and the way everything is like so seamlessly like it's just the craftsmanship of everything is just unreal. I know some people on this very show are probably gonna have some thoughts on the sequel, I would imagine. So I'm very curious to hear those thoughts as we get to them later on. But yeah, really, really love that game. Definitely like a nine or it's a top 10 game I think I've played, maybe period. The story was so good. But yeah, I think without further ado, we are going to get into honorable mentions. Sorry, not we're not in the main event. We're gonna do honorable mentions. We're just gonna each person. You could just rattle off one to a couple honorable mentions if you have any. So we'll go in the same order. Newcomer first. We're gonna go to DarthPeanut first. So any honorable mentions first before we get into our top three of the year.
Yeah, this is one that I know that you've at least got on in your backlog. I don't know if you've actually managed to touch it yet this year, but I'm giving an honorable mention to Skate.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
it's fun. I don't know, like it doesn't have enough, like there's no like true story or anything to it, but it's fun just to get in there, skate around, just find some new lines to try and do.
Yep.
It's great to get back to that series, like after what it's been more than 10 years, I think, between games. So just getting back into that world again has been really fun. I do need to get back into it. I kind of put it aside for a while, but yeah.
I am so happy you brought that game up, man, because I I did not even remember. Like I played it for like 2 days and I wanted to go back. It was at that time where like there was a big game I was playing, like a big game I wanted to finish. So then that game came out. I think a Star Wars book came out that I had to review or something like that. Not that I had to review. I enjoy reviewing them, but
I can check our
something
messages.
happened
I remember talking.
and I was like, oh, this game's amazing. Cause like, I skate. So for me, I never actually played Skate 1, 2, or 3 like religiously like some people on this show have. And yeah, I know JT was a big fan. So of the classic skate games. But I always adored the Tony Hawk games, and I actually played a Tony Hawk game this year. They released 3 and 4, which was really fun. But then I went to skate, and I was like, "Oh, this is a game made by skaters because the amount of the flicking of the sticks with the kick flips and the shove-its, and you could actually make your guy do these crazy power slides and stuff that you would do in real life, like in these situations. Like the craftsmanship that went into creating this game was awesome because like you can make it as realistic as you want, and then you go on like social media, you'll see people like doing some crazy like backflip crap that I'm like, I'm never gonna do that. I want to keep this game as grounded as it is. Like I'm having my guy by a curb, and I'm already doing the math in my head. Like if I grind this and then I go into a manual, I can set up this line that I would do in real life. And that is just a surreal thing to be like, I am setting this up as something I would do in real life with these obstacles. So absolutely awesome. Happy you mentioned that. JT, you dabbled in skate this year, right?
A little bit. Didn't quite hold my attention the way they used to. I think I'm just drifting from that style of game. I think I was also a little sour with the skateboard video game experience after receiving the remake of Pro Skater 4 without the original story mode. So that was a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, I know that was a big contention thing. I know me, you, and Johnny talking about that. So yeah, as somebody that doesn't really remember for me, it didn't particularly bother me. But yeah, it is annoying when you expect something to be there because it's a remake and it's not there. It's like, huh? So
Yeah.
Skate was definitely a good call on that one. Throwing it over to Fighter, honorable mentions.
Going off of the Elden Ring playthroughs and everything else, Elden Ring Night Rain.
I forgot that was this year too.
Surprise! Actually, it came out the day after my birthday, which is why I got it. But for not being an Elden Ring player, for not being too deep dived in Dark Souls and bosses like that from those genre games, I had a pleasant, fun time playing the game, especially when it came with playing with friends, because it was so chaotic in the arena where you think you're going to be dodging this one boss. Meanwhile, your friend behind you has got a different boss that's creeping up on you. It's like,
whoa,
why are you bringing him over here to me? I'm dealing with this guy. Plus, the characters being able to select, like, almost being like a roguelike was kind of fun because it was based on a character's perspective. And then you went and build based off of whatever character you picked. So like my favorite character was the Executioner, and he's this samurai dexterity player. So I was able to use his ability to like parry, like a good move, and then hit counterattack with a big katana slash. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a blast. And they just recently released their mall expansion. Once again, it's not like a big expansion to the point where it's a DLC quality, but it's definitely a add-on of level bosses and other materials. So I definitely see this game taking point for like attention of Elden Ring players that want to play maybe something lighter, something a little easier to handle. But definitely being in the hardcore genre, Elden Ring is definitely going to be where people want to get that I want a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think like that's a good honorable mention for me because, like I said, as not being a Elden Ring Souls-like player hardcore, I definitely enjoyed myself a lot more than I thought.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Night Rain got as high scores and high praise from people as it did. When that was announced at the last Game of the Year awards, in the December of the previous year, I said, "Oh, this feels like it's added on. This feels like it's just not gonna really hit. It's almost like an afterthought. Like, oh, Elden Ring did so well. Quick, let's get something out. Oh, let's just make it a multiplayer thing. All right, let's ship it. Let's ship it. Like, it just didn't give me the vibes like it would have lasting power and really like stand up to anything else out there. So I was watching the reviews, watching people's thoughts on it online, and I was like, whoa, this thing actually turned out pretty well.
Yeah, and being able to, like, once again, listening to your community is definitely a key point. Because, like you said, I think a lot of people felt a little uneasy when they started reading about how it was going to be more of a roguelike thing than an Elden Ring kind of thing. But it still kept the Elden Ring mechanics of where you had to constantly keep your health flask going or you couldn't get health. Um, if you went down, you weren't down, but like and out of the fight, your teammates could come and get you out back into the fight. But the more times you went down, the more times they had to try to hit you to get you back up in the fight. So it definitely had new elements to keep that game pumping and flowing while still staying true to its core Elden Ring fanatics.
Hmm. Ah,
I cannot tell you how many times when I went back to regular Elden Ring, I jumped off a cliff thinking I would live, and
Yeah,
you don't.
and you know, so I think that's what like tricks a lot of people. It's like, oh man, I'm going to jump off this cliff. Oh, it's a 200-foot drop. Somehow I didn't break my ankles. All right, I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Go back to the normal game. Next thing you know, you just have a goofy scream coming out of nowhere because you can't break a 200-foot drop.
oh
But
man.
yeah, it was. I'm definitely waiting to see if like there's going to be more characters added into the game because, like I said, for the new expansion that they did, not only did they add bosses, they added 2 new classes, the Undertaker, and I want to say he's some kind of priest, some kind of high priest character, but the Undertaker, she is hard, and it's so much fun when you get 3 Undertakers to go after a boss, and just watch that her ultimate just take at least a third of the boss's health because
Whoa.
it's just, because the Undertaker's ability is that when she uses her special, other characters can use their ults for free.
Oh, whoa.
Although it might be a more weakened state instead of
Okay.
a fully charged super that they would have earned.
Hmm. Interesting. So, any other games this year, Josh? I know you played a lot of games for honorable mentions.
Boy, did I ever. Assassin's Creed Shadow would definitely be up there. I need to go back to finish that.
I've been meaning to play that one.
Oh, is it good?
It's the only one out of the entire Assassin's Creed games that I haven't played.
Really?
And like I even played like the arcade ones that they made where they were like side scrollers and stuff.
Those are the
Like,
ones I haven't played.
I played all of them except for the new one.
Oh, you will not be
Shadow's definitely fun.
disappointed. You will not be disappointed with it.
Let's see, what's another one? It recently just came out. Where Winds Meet. I've been playing that with a bunch of other Discord friends and everything. The reason it's on my honorable mention is because it's not a game where I would constantly go back and like consistently be like, oh, there's a new update. It's like a game that I can sit back, let something build up on it, and then I can go back and sink my teeth into. Or if I'm looking to grind something or farm something, I can then go back to that if I'm not doing something on Division, Destiny, or some other grindy game. But it's for a full game to be free to play and have only your currency for cosmetic and or obviously the famous Battle Pass method. But but their Battle Pass has both cosmetics and materials that your player base can use to constantly level up, get better gear, or just enjoy the cosmetic appearance and fashion. It does pretty well for that style, where it's just you want to play the game completely free, by all means, go play it for free. You don't have to spend a single thing. But it's all about the fashion, man. It's all about the fashion. But the game it's both fun and challenging. It's like even for me, like once again, I'm going to pull the Elden Ring method because it has Elden Ring-esque boss fights in it, or Sekiro boss fights in it, where you dwindle down their stamina and then you can execute them or do a special execution move to get a big chunk of their health going. But you can also there's telltales where you can parry, and then also can't parry or have the perfect dodge.
Oh,
But if it's like too challenging for you or you can't get the hang of the boss fights that well, you can tone it down to an easier difficulty where the game assists you in telling you when that you should be hitting this button to parry. Now the system will eventually just say that it can't do it because it says you don't have enough stamina or you don't have enough charges to use
sure.
this method. But it to be able to appease both the hardcore fighters of I need to learn, I need to master this boss fight to the I'm just very casual, I just want to enjoy what the game is. The formula for this game is very well done in both difficulty and ease of use of being able to play the game.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. A coworker of ours was showing me that on a phone. Like, look at this game on the phone. I said, really? Like the
Yeah, it
fidelity
just
of that
released
thing
its mobile
looks.
version. I don't know how well it works on the mobile, but it's got to tell you that they're doing something right where they can put both PC, console, and mobile.
Yeah, that's crazy how tech is catching up. JT, what about you? What are some honorable mentions for the year 2025?
Well, I will start with Johnny's honorable mention, which is Deep Rock Galactic Survivors.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Which I did put a few runs into as well because it's free on Game Pass, so why not? I mean I can see it. It doesn't quite make my honorable mention list, but I can definitely see where he's coming from. Compared to the rest of these, Vampire Survivor clone games that have been coming out recently, it definitely has a lot more, excuse the pun, depth than the other ones. Um, so I think it definitely deserves to be there, just not on mine. Mine, on the other hand, I actually have two. One being Night Rain.
oh,
The second being a fairly sleeper hit called A Game About Digging a Hole.
I have seen that.
I've seen some Twitch players on that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the achievement for finding the treasure in under 30 minutes, but I got all the other achievements. It is it scratches this weird itch in the back of your brain to just dig and
Dig a
dig
hole.
and dig, and you're climbing up and you're upgrading all your stuff. You're selling, all the ores and minerals that you found to get money and then upgrade your stuff, and you just you go from a small shovel to a bigger shovel to a bigger shovel to a drill and then an even bigger drill, and you get to a point where you're just standing there just spinning around in a circle and just drilling everything out of the way, and it's quite satisfying. But yeah, as far as Night Rain goes, in its first month or two, I know me and Johnny played a ton of it. I don't think he was going to play it, but I bought it, so we both ended up having it. So he gave it a shot, and we put a lot of hours into that. It definitely, it's more than just a cash grab off following the Elden Ring DLC, winning whatever it won last year. It's definitely in the past 4 or 5 years or so, there's been a surge on YouTube and Twitch of Souls game content creators and streamers doing these like boss rush mods of the other games where you're just dropped into an arena and you just fight boss after boss after
Cool.
boss. So this game, it was their way of capitalizing on the, how popular that had become. And it hit pretty good. It's definitely, it has the core mechanics there. There are definitely some differences. It's way more fast paced. You can pretty much sprint infinitely. You can drop from any distance and take 0 damage because it's got that fast paced, roguelite, almost battle royale pace, because you do have an enclosing circle on each day, kind of pushing you towards the final boss arena of that day cycle, right? But another thing about it is Elden Ring Night Rain includes bosses from all of the Dark Souls games.
So they have the same mechanics then? Like if you remember the mechanics from those games, they transfer over?
They're toned down a little bit, because it's definitely, it can be a more casual experience. You can make it as casual or not casual as you want, really. But yeah, there's bosses from Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring, all in one game. So it's really,
that's cool.
It's really it's a love letter to the whole franchise, really.
Wow. No, sounds awesome. I do got to get it. Like the two different games you mentioned are two genres I haven't even delved in. Whether it be like the Vampire Survivor, I've never played that game. I know there's like a lot of similar games like that. And then the Dark Souls games. Like I just haven't really dabbled in those either. So maybe one of these years I'll get around to it. All right. So as far as mine, all right, I'll try to keep it down to 3. I could say more than that, but I don't want to take too long to talk about these.
Remember, we're trying to be under 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go with first one is Battlefield 6. Man, this game is great. This is a great game that is the full package. Like you get a really nice, short and sweet, but effective campaign, and then you get the multiplayer experience that is the multiplayer experience that I think has been lacking from the online multiplayer shooter genre arena for a long time, where it's like we're jumping in with squads, like me and Fighter, we have a story or two. Me and JT, we have a story or two with this game. That's what's so great about Battlefield is you really make your own adventures, and you're out there with like 30 other players on your team. You're holding out in a building, the walls crumple around you, and we're just surviving, man. It's like I got the stairwell covered. Anybody comes up, they're getting blasted, and you're getting in tanks, and you're getting in helicopters, and you're going behind enemy lines, sniping people, providing ammo. It is awesome. I really enjoyed that experience, and it's going to be a game I definitely go back to. I know I don't know if it was a leak or not. To date, did anybody? I know a couple of you guys play the game. Did they release the season 2 information? Because I thought I seen something yesterday, but I'm like, is that confirmed that Spain is the next map or something? But I don't know.
I haven't heard anything. Although the only thing I've known right now is that they were doing their winter offensive.
Yep.
Which that was definitely fun. That was definitely a twist.
That was cool. Did you get a chance to check that out, JT, with the winter offensive?
No, I did not, because I was too busy putting all of my time into my Game of the Year winner for the year.
Yep. So for those of you who don't know, the winter offensive, basically it's like the Empire map is turned with snow. And you actually have a cool mechanic where if you actually get cold and you get like frostbite and your screen starts to get like all frozen and your guy slows down, and then he actually starts taking damage unless you warm up by like a little fire. They have these little, kerosene barrels or whatever, gasoline barrels just all over the place that you could just like stand by in proximity to warm up. It's a fun little gimmick, but it was cool. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that one. I don't know if you guys want to chime in on anything with Battlefield, Josh, Fighter.
I can't because you took one of my games, man. That's why I was like,
okay. Yeah. Fine. I'll go to my next one. Next one will be, this was a tough one. I really wanted to have this in my top 3, but something had to get knocked out. And that is one of the games I played earlier in the year, and that's from Obsidian Entertainment, Avowed. Really love this one. Haven't really played a whole lot of Obsidian games. I know they have quite the catalog, but jumping into this one, I haven't played Fallout New Vegas. But so jumping into this, I haven't really played Outer Worlds either. So this is my first big, I think, RPG by these guys. And mind you, they already put out 2 other games this year, which I haven't played. They put out Grounded 2. They put out Outer Worlds 2, speaking of which. But Avowed was really cool because it's this fantasy adventure set in not Path of Exile, Pillars of Eternity universe. So you have that fantasy kind of environment. You're going around, blah, blah, blah. You're doing this thing, talking to people. But what I really enjoyed about this game is the exploration was great. The parkour elements of the exploration, parkouring, jumping around, finding some stuff that was worth going off the unbeaten path for. Then you had just a lot of cool dialogue choices that would really change quite a bit around for your story of your character. Basically the amount of player choice you have with your gameplay, how you want to play the game. If you want to dual wield daggers and go in stealth mode, you can. If you want to have a wand in one hand and a hand cannon in the other, you could do that. I played the game. I got this really cool build where I was basically playing Call of Duty Battlefield in a fantasy game. So I was slowing down time with this super powerful rifle, shooting lizard people in the face, one-shotting them. It was great. I had the reload skill super high, so I was basically just semi-autoing all these fantasy creatures with a gun. So the fact that I was able to do that, I was like, I gotta mention this game. I don't think, did any of you play Avowed this year?
Avowed is a very sad subject for me.
Oh.
Well, as you probably remember, Avowed was on my most anticipated game last year or the year before, whenever they announced it. Just did not hit, man. Not for me. I love Knights of the Old Republic 2. I love Fallout New Vegas. They're 2 of my favorite games ever. But I think I'm coming to realize I only like Obsidian games when they're given something to build off of from another series and not their original concepts. Those Outer Worlds didn't do it for me. Avowed isn't doing it for me. And I'm probably not even going to touch Outer Worlds 2.
Fair enough. I know for a lot of people, like, the story was kind of the one thing that was kind of boring for them and whatnot. So I don't know if that was part of the issue, I guess, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it looks great, and everything about it is cool. It's just not, didn't grab me the way I expected.
Fair enough. And all right, there's like, I'm only gonna pick 3 here because I could pick more, but I'm going to an Xbox exclusive, which we don't hear much anymore because apparently this is not even on PS5 right now. It's a little game from the guys that made Psychonauts 2 Double Fine called Keeper. It's like literally like a 3.5 to 5 hour experience. It's almost like an indie game in how it's designed because it's very minimalist, but you're simply a lighthouse that becomes animated. It becomes alive, and you have a pal of this little bird, and you don't even know what the story is about. Like, there's no dialogue. It's no dialogue game. The story is told through the environment, and it's very whimsical. If you've played any Double Fine game, they're very whimsical. It reminds me of like the aesthetic of Nightmare Before Christmas, like a Tim Burton animated kind of thing, like very whimsical, crazy in design, kind of psychedelic colors a lot of the times. And you can't really talk about the game too much because it kind of gives stuff away. But what I will say is like every 45 minutes or so, they change up the mechanics completely of how you control your character and everything. So for that, I was like, it was a fun, very linear, but very powerful narrative adventure where, again, there was no line of dialogue, but the storytellers are able to really weave a really interesting narrative around just exploration. You don't know what's coming around the next turn, and then you get to the end of the game, and it's like it's this mind blowing thing where it's like that's how they ended the game, and then that's kind of how it ends. But yeah, those are my three. Maybe one day I'll talk about all the other games I played this year, that came out this year. But that's about it for the honorable mentions. So without further ado, for real this time, we're going to get into our top three, counting it down around the metaphorical table here. I'll throw it back to DarthPeanut. What's your number three, man?
All right, so you're going to see a pattern with my top three. So for number three, I'm going Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. I don't know if anyone's really familiar with the Solo Leveling anime or the manga. Okay. But so this game, initially, they made this one because they had like a free-to-play gacha game that they had made that just wasn't doing very well, like in the charts and all that. And then they released this one on Steam. It might be on consoles as well. I'm not 100% sure. But it takes you through the story. You get to play through it. You get to go through, you get to unlock all these different people that you can use in the missions, the replayability, the level design, the combat. I mean, I love it. And they still have feels of like the old gacha system from what the game is based off of initially, where there's still like you can get all these crafting parts and weapons, and there's still random aspects to how you get certain things. But they took away the "give me your money" side of that. So it's like, it's one of those. All right, you just pay for the game once, and there might be an in-game currency that you can spend on. I haven't seen it yet, so that gave it major points because a lot of games like this normally do have that. Here, come buy our blue currency so you can use it for this one thing. It's just not there this time. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of the series overall, and then getting to play through it from that perspective and point of view, it's just really fun.
Yeah, Fighter, what are your thoughts on that game? You raised your hand. I don't know if you played the game, but you at least know the source material.
I played like the Peanut said I played the original one first, and I played it for maybe not even like a day, maybe like a couple of hours, and I just didn't really like it because it just felt too heavy in the gacha lane, where it was just like wasn't really a good experience. But I have seen a lot of like YouTubers I paid attention to, they picked it up. I have seen more advertisements for it. So if I can find it, then I'll probably give it a shot. But I do know the source material of it. I know the anime. I know the manga. I really hope that we can get a season 3, but I don't think we will. So I will have to continue reading, which I am perfectly fine with. But the synopsis of Solo Leveling is that there is people that have awakened in a way to use abilities as if they are in a fantasy. They're given a class, and once you awaken, you cannot expand your rank. So if you awaken as a C class, you're stuck as a C class. You can't ever go beyond that. The character is rank E, and he tries to just meets and meets. He tries to take care of his sister. His mom is sick, so he just does what he can to support his family.
If I remember properly, he's known as the weakest hunter alive. So he is
the weakest hunter,
the weakest of the weak. So like people see him on a mission, and they're like, "Okay, we'll be fine," because if he's here, we're gonna be fine.
Right, and he takes on a mission to help out a raid essentially, and it's all supposed to be like a B and lower. They end up finding a secret path in this raid, and they go into a room that was not meant to be a B rank. And so people started dying. He's willing to stay. Like, he wasn't willing, but he ended up being crippled to the point where he's like, just go, leave. Like, Don't worry about me.
Oh, no.
But then he has that conniption of, I really don't want to die. And then, poof, somehow he's alive and well.
Oh.
And now he's what essentially he calls himself as a player because he gets a system notification that's like, do you want to accept this quest? If you don't do this quest, there is a punishment for when you don't complete this quest. So he starts playing and all these level ups, all these stats that he gains starts affecting him physically, and he becomes a completely different person than what he was in the beginning of the show. And so the reason it's called solo leveling is because he doesn't want people to find out that he has his ability. He doesn't want to be in that spotlight because he still just wants to be that person that just takes care of his family. He just wants to be with his family.
Oh.
But then
I
the
won't
story
spoil anything
happens.
else. Yeah, I won't spoil any of the seasons and everything. But like the fight scenes for that anime, in the dubbed version, goes very hard. Like when you see him get mad and serious, you're like, all right, let me see that scene. Let me get the popcorn. So I highly recommend at least watching or if not, maybe reading a couple manga chapters if you are up for it.
Well, thanks for elaborating, because I literally had zero knowledge at all about this whole series. So now I can
You're welcome.
understand maybe what
Yeah.
the game is sort of about from that perspective, at least. So, what's your number 3? Speaking of which, Fighter.
My number 3 was Battlefield 6 because for a Battlefield shooter and to be in, like, I started playing Battlefield Bad Company 2. I did 4. I started constantly playing it for just casually playing it and campaigns and stuff. Excuse me. But the multiplayer wasn't always, like, I could get some kills going. I could always just enjoy it with my friends. But I couldn't really, like, get going as if, like, I actually was able to play the game proficiently until 6. 6 feels so much smoother in its ability to aim down your sights, walk in, get a kill, move on, keep going. I like to snipe in there in that game. Sniping in all the other Battlefield games was very difficult and tricky because they had such a realistic bullet timing and dropping and weight and everything. So, like, if a dude is out 300 meters, you had to line up that shot to the point where that bullet's going to drop into him and not pass him or whiz past him. So they definitely simplified it, but to be simplified and letting people experience more sniping is definitely a lot. It's a lot more funner than just being, oh, it's just a skill class. You just gotta be good at the game. And like you said before, to have these squad fights with your friends, like you said, you and I, we held up in a building where these other guys are coming from their spawn point, trying to get us out of the building, and next thing they know, they collapse the wall and they get us. I have another group of friends, Boom, Saki, and Marky. They will be my intel group. Like, I will have Saki running the back lines, getting the teams, being the medic. I will have Boom being my intel guy, telling me where they are, where the groups are. And then Marky's, he's like the wingman. He's like, I got your back. Whether it's a good idea or not, that's going to be questionable. To being able to play the Battle Royale section with our coworker Chris and everything. For that Battle Royale to be in Battlefield, I was very concerned because it's another Battlefield. It's like, all right, or another Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Is it going to follow all the other methods that we had in previous, like Call of Duty's, PUBG, and Fortnite and stuff? And to some mechanics, there was, but it was also still kept that Battlefield go, got to keep the momentum going or you're going to become a sitting duck. Because there was a time where me and Mike, we drop in duos, and there's a team ahead of us trying to get a vehicle out because they did a mission, so they were able to get a key for a vehicle trailer. And I was like, if we don't do something about them, we're going to get caught with this vehicle. I had a precision strike aimed on the crate. They ran away, which gave me enough time to get around the trailer, put down more covering fire, sprint to the trailer when it was done, and hijack their vehicle and take them out. Mike is like, how in the... I'm like, I don't know. Get in the vehicle. Let's go. The storm is right behind us. Let's go. We got to move. So, and it was just that feeling of realism to the point where you're in the zone. You're on that field, to making calls, to being like, how did this even happen? To, I hit that guy some magical way. To just having those funny moments where you're just walking down a lane with a friend. Next thing you know, some dude just throws a bomb in there, and you're like, what happened? Where did everybody go? And it's just the community. Like, at first, the community didn't have the whole mentality of medics do your job. It's like, you have one job, get everybody. To now, I have so many medics running around the field, picking me up, getting me back in the fight, to the point where I can either get back and hold the zone or push the zone with them. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to put out, because they're constantly doing like seasonal events, like we said, the winter offensive, the preseason before the actual season 1. So I really hope to see that we have more updates to both varieties of the Battlefield franchise, because I think you're the one that told me that it's being run by 2 different teams. You have, I believe, the regular Battlefield team doing Battlefield stuff, and RedSec is being run by a separate Universal team for their stuff, which makes a lot of sense. You have 2 big franchises, of the two franchises running at 2 different speeds. You have your Battle Royale fanatics, and then it's like, oh, this is a Battle Royale. I don't want to play this. Well, then get the actual game. Go play Battlefield.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if you're kind of done, or it's like we get a group going, it's like, all right, we don't feel like playing these long matches. Let's jump in some Royale. And matches normally take anywhere between to 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but at least you're playing something different than just here's one lane of people, here's another lane of people, everybody just clash in the middle for a team deathmatch, push and tug of war.
Yeah.
And just like we said before, like with the audio cues, where it's like, if a bullet misses me, I know that a bullet will miss me, to the point where I got my dome crossed up by a sniper scope, or I got hit with a slug round, to being point blank shot in the face with a tank shell because I poked up my head at the wrong minute.
Yes.
But
I
definitely feel like Battlefield is Battlefield at this point. Like, they have gone back to their core roots.
Yeah, it was crazy because I remember previously, before the game came out, there was some absurd, at the time, it was absurd to think that the EA executives would kind of position this to say it would get 15 million copies sold or something like that in the first, 2 or 3 months.
And then look at them. They outsold Call of Duty.
Yeah, who ever seen that coming? Really? Who actually seen Call of Duty getting dethroned? That's a whole other conversation for another day, because I think last year I might have even had Call of Duty at least on my honorable mentions, and if we were to give a reward for the worst game of the year, I think it would go to that one for me this year, because oh my gosh, that campaign was
disappointment.
So bad with the way it was co-op only, online only freaking campaign. Oh gosh, don't get me started on that.
At that point.
But going back to Battlefield, I didn't mention this before, but the cinematic quality with the sound design, with the explosions, the environmental destruction. You wear headphones, and this, I'll never even try to compare myself to being in war, actual soldiers risking their lives, but I'm running around going oh my gosh, this is crazy kind of thing. This is the closest to a war game in a game I think we've gotten, really, because it's just the intensity of the volumetric smoke when the debris flies up and you can't see crap, and there's just gunfire going around. You get shot, you get picked up by the medics, and it's something else, man. They really put, like you were saying, Fighter, they have they had 4 different studios working on this game, and it shows like EA was like doing a Hail Mary basically. They're like, if this doesn't land, we're in serious trouble. So we're gonna put every resource we can into this game. And it sure as heck shows. So yeah, good pool on that one. Over to JT Jar Jar. What's your number 3, man?
All right. So a quick aside. I forgot to mention the Oblivion remake.
Oh yeah.
Spent a lot of time with that. I never played much of the original. I definitely didn't play it when it first came out because I wasn't into Bethesda games at all yet. I didn't get into Bethesda games until Fallout 3. However, at one point playing through the Oblivion remake, I decided, let me stream, like cloud stream the original Oblivion, backwards compatible Oblivion on my Xbox. And I opened up the save file that I did have.
Whoa.
I was in the exact same spot, frame for frame.
What?
With the exact same items and the exact same
what the heck?
class build.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. And also, I'd like to show a moment of appreciation for Vince Zampella. Obviously, he tragically passed away recently. He had his hands on some of the most iconic first-person shooter single-player and multiplayer experiences of our generation that are huge parts of our childhood. With that being said, anybody listening, stop doing dumb things that you're not trained for to look cool on the internet. Just stop doing it, because this is what happens. Anyway, moving on.
Real
my
quick.
number 3.
Let me mention just Oblivion real quick. You mentioned Oblivion. I want to jump off that point because I did get a chance to jump in like a week or two ago because I wasn't planning on playing the whole thing. I didn't want to get sucked in because the first time I played Oblivion, I think it was my first Bethesda game. I'm not a Fallout guy, so it started for me at Elder Scroll. I tried Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Didn't like it at all. And then I said, okay, I'll give Oblivion a try because it's the 360 game on the launch game when I got my 360. I played that game every day for the whole summer break. I was on vacation. I played that game like it was my damn job, man. I was on that game. I did like every guild
for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was in every guild mission. I was doing every little thing I could. That was my summer. I think that was the summer of 2016. No, 2006, I think, or 2007. That was my summer there.
That was the game that taught me not to just go straight towards the objective marker. Because, like, I remember, like, loading that up and, like, leaving the prison. And then I was like, okay, look around on the compass. That way. Let's go that way. No, should have followed the roads because next thing I know, I'm, like, in the river getting killed by crabs. And, like, it was just... it was bad news for me on that one. I was like, no, this is bad. I had to look over at a friend. He's like, what do I do? He's like, why are you trying to go over? He's like, take the roads, the paths. And I was like, oh, okay. So like that was the first game where I was like, okay, can't just beeline it there.
Yeah. So and then I booted up the remake, and it's awesome because what they did was I think their proprietary engine is the creation engine, what they use in all their games, Bethesda. But then they somehow did some kind of wizardry with Unreal Engine 5. So it's running like both engines or something at the same time, which is really cool because you get some incredible... I was playing it on the 4K TV through the Series X, and then I played it on my PC, and it's like, oh my gosh, this game looks beautiful. But this is how you want to do a remake, because they've added such good quality of life stuff, like a sprint button, which you find like is in every game now. But if you played a game without it now, it'd be like, this is so dated. So they did like a lot of cool stuff under the hood, but then some nice quality of life things. So no, we're all waiting for the Fallout version of this. So hopefully we get that this year. Then I will actually spend time because I can't really get into Fallout games because they all feel dated to me at this point.
That's the best part, though. Um,
The old
I,
glitches
I,
still work. That's the best part.
I will. I will say some races in Oblivion definitely updated better than others visually. There are some that looked better before, but overall, it's mainly positive experience.
Nice.
Just aside from some like, oh, that's the Bethesda's charm is still there.
All right. So what's your number 3
Anyway,
now?
my actual number 3. So it was a toss-up between 2 games here for the 2 and 3 spot, but since there's been a lot of talk of the one so far, I will break up that talk about so much of one thing. I'm gonna go with Monster Hunter Wilds
Oh.
for my number 3. It doesn't have great Steam reviews. I don't know why, but its console reviews are great. It is mechanically, it is a sequel to Monster Hunter Worlds. It's a slower paced, much more methodical gameplay style than the more arcadey versions are. So like Monster Hunter Rise, the one that originally came out for the Switch.
Yep.
They might as well be 2 entirely different franchises. Like they're still Monster Hunter, but it's like it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like the difference between just thematically, like back in the day, the difference between like Modern Warfare and World at War and Black Ops. There's clear things that the one studio does and clear things that the other studio does. And I definitely lean more towards the Worlds and Wilds style of Monster Hunter. I can't say much for the story because everything that I could skip through, I did skip through. And anything that it didn't let me skip through made me very annoyed because all I wanted to do was go back to fighting the monsters.
Oh.
We'll say it is one of the. Sorry.
One of the what?
I was gonna say it's like one of those styles of games, just like that entire franchise. I'm the same way. Like I don't care about the story in these. I'm here for a purpose. I want to get back out there and I want to fight stuff.
Yep, I play it for the mechanics and the gameplay, not the story. Same reason I play the Dark Souls games. Like I don't know what's happening, but I'm part of, and I like playing it. But yeah, loved it so much so that I even added a new weapon into my rotation. Up to this point, I was mainly Switch Axe and Charge Blade. I've added the hammer into it, which is a big bonk, fun, a lot simpler of a moveset, but it was a way to freshen things up. But yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds number 3.
Fighter,
have you
got
done the well, I was going to ask him, have you done the Gosmosius update?
Not yet. No.
It's fun. I will say it's definitely fun.
The ADHD brain definitely takes over. I think because what came out after I was done with Monster Hunter. I think Oblivion remake came out like
Yeah, it
right
was in
after I was done
April.
with it. So as soon as that came up, I was like, all right, next thing, Oblivion.
I was gonna
Play
say
this
like
till the
Monster Hunter
next
was
thing
like
comes out.
what earlier in the new year,
Yeah.
right?
Like right at the end of
February.
February. So I had
So
a
then
good
in
like
May you would have
month.
had Night Rain as well.
Yeah, so like a good month and a half. Oblivion came out. I jumped on that. I was like, then I realized Night Rain was coming out, and I was like, all right, play as much Oblivion as I can before Night Rain comes out. Play as much of that until the next thing comes out. You know, that's
I also
just
find it funny that
that's
you
how I
mentioned
hop through
Monster Hunter
everything.
because I almost bought it last week because I still don't
Oh,
have
Do
it. I
Do
almost
it
got it last week.
It
for the love of God, do it.
my first Monster Hunter game was Monster Hunter Worlds, and
Same here.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to have a group of friends, the same ones that got me into the Souls series, that were veterans of the Monster Hunter series. So having those helpful hints, you know, tips, tricks, the knowledge of the game, and the extra guidance, people to play with, it definitely helped. Monster Hunter is a lot to jump into solo. It can be overwhelming. Um, but once you get it, it's one of the most fun experiences I have
wow.
gaming.
Yeah, the only input I can provide on Monster Hunter is that I always get it confused with the 1999 to 2000 anime series called Monster Rancher, which also had 15 games apparently in a series. That's
Hey,
about the. I always get them confused.
Hey, it does sound
I had Monster Rancher 2 on the PlayStation 1. That game was good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't what do you prefer? I'll throw this one over to Fighter. Monster Hunter Worlds or Monster Hunter Wilds?
Oh, I would say I like Wilds, but it like their world is also its own unique beast because it has your basic standards of getting into the Monster Hunter series, where then Wilds kind of like builds on top of it. So it's there, like in World, you don't get like a mount to help you unless you do like a certain amount of like series of side quests to help you be like befriend the wildlife to mount and help you track down these monsters. Whereas in Wilds, you have this mount right away that can help you track down these behemoths of monsters that you're going to be going hunting, catching, and farming for materials. So it's like they're their own two separate beasts because Wilds only has like I want to say maybe somewhere between 25 to 30 monsters to hunt,
Hmm.
whereas Wilds has if not maybe 20-ish more or 25
Oh.
more. So it's like they have more monsters that you can fight and experience. This one just has more intuitive, dynamic fights. Whereas, like the weapon, I believe Wilds has more counteractive measurements with weapons than World does. I don't believe certain weapons in World had a counteroffensive unless it was like a certain unique weapon that could do it. Like the great sword. The great sword in World, if you caught the monster at a certain angle or
Mm-hmm.
at the right time, you could clobber them to make them stop, like kind of do like a flip and get them on the ground.
Huh.
Whereas in Wilds, the great sword does that. It can also do what's called a power clash,
Hmm.
where if I time it just right to parry the monster or block its attack, it's going to try to come at me and try to push me off
Wow.
or like off balance me. But if I win against that power struggle, I get a free like knockback stun
Huh.
and come in to knock it down on its butt.
Whoa.
Um, then you have like weapons like the longsword, like I like to use. The longsword in World was just your damage dealer, your get in, get out, kind of like hit and miss, and get like guerrilla tactic warfare. Whereas in Wilds, if I'm getting ready to, if I know a big hit is coming my way, I can put the sword away and do like a quick slash to
Oh.
get past it and parry the damage of the attack. So it's like each game has their own up factors of what they've had in their bloodline.
Hmm.
I also like Wilds a little bit more because as like if you were to go online and play solo, it is confusing to play like when if you don't know anything. But they also have jump in and out co-op where if you shoot an
Oh.
SOS flare, you get AI companions to help you fight this
Oh, cool.
monster, or other hunters can join in the fight as one of the AI players, and get their rewards for helping you and killing the monster. So I definitely feel like this is definitely more community driven than World, because in World you had to post it, you had to do the same thing, post a quest, shoot an SOS flare, but you had to wait for other hunters to join. Whereas if you shoot an SOS flare in Wilds, you get maybe 5 seconds before the AI comes in and helps out. Then it's like, all right, now we found two other hunters. They're going to jump in place of the other two AI.
Oh,
So now
okay.
it's you two actual players and one AI
Oh,
to finish out the hunt.
that's cool.
Yeah, I just pulled the trigger on it.
Yes, I converted another one.
There we go.
That's a big file. That's a big file. I got to clear up space before downloading that.
So I will
Listen,
say there is a great
add me. I'll help.
there is a great quality of life addition that they made in Monster Hunter Wilds that I don't think was in the other games. If it was, they are ones that I didn't play. I know it wasn't in Worlds. But while you are on your mount in Wilds, there's a lot of material gathering in this game to make your sleep bombs and your traps and your upgrade your armor and weapons and everything. And they added the ability to, when you drop into a map and you're on your mount, you can put a waypoint on the icon of a material that you need, and your mount will automatically move to
What?
there. So you can go on the map, click where you want to go. Your mount will take you there while you're looking at the map. When you get there, pick it up, mark the next thing, and it takes you right over.
I like that. That sounds nice.
Great.
Yeah, they made it a lot easier to track something. And the reason that the Steam version of Wilds has mixed reviews was because when it first came out, it had a lot of optimization problems, and even now it's not as bad. But they are working on patches. Like I believe in the new, because I believe they're on break right now. I believe starting in the new year, they're going to be putting out quality of life updates to fix optimization problems for the Steam client. Then I think maybe later on, because people are like, "Oh, it's almost that time for like DLC for Monster Hunter." It's always like the second year of the game, and it might be true, but I definitely feel like they're going to ease off on like the content pumping and make sure that everything works, console and Steam versions. But they definitely listen to the community. Like once again, Capcom listens to the people. They know like what the community wants. They want better optimizations. They want more things to do or to hunt. Like I said, we just recently got Gosmosius, who is, or I'll butcher every single monster name that I can think of. But he is an Elder Dragon, the biggest, baddest monsters that you can find in the Monster Hunter series. They are like, they're cataclysmic level and threat. He is the first 8-man hunt that you can. Well, no, actually, no, that's false. There was another monster like that in World, but she was like a timed event that you would have to find, whereas he's just a normal quest. But he is the first 8-man hunt that you can do with both AIs and players. So if the 4 of us made a hunt squad, it would be the 4 of us plus 4 other bots helping us.
Oh, cool. That's
So
pretty neat.
and he's a very fun fight. I really like him. You have to fight him solo first, but he's with 7 other bots helping you clear the fight. It's not going to be that big of a problem.
All right, so there you go. Monster Hunter Wilds coming at number 3 for Fighter. For me, I'm going to go Doom the Dark Ages for my number 3. Oh my goodness, I played this one most recently because I was a little bit busy at the time this came out. I was in Japan or I just got back or something, so I had to put that on the backlog very, very far into the year of 2025. But man, I'm happy I didn't let this one slip into 2026 because this actually might be my favorite Doom. A lot of people are like, I still prefer 2016 Eternal to it. Our friend Johnny still, I think, prefers Eternal, I think he said. But what really stuck out for me this one is the power fantasy of how well it transitions the Doom iconography and transfers it with a dark fantasy vibe. Like, oh my gosh, like I like the way that they describe how the Doomslayer is in the other games, like, and then they compare him to this one. They're like, yeah, he's the Mack truck. He's just a tank. Like, he might have been faster in the other ones and more agile, but in this game, he is just like walking death, and he can soak up a lot of damage. He's got this awesome shield, which that was the first thing I maxed out. Is like, I got to get everything on the shield, max it out. Because it's like your Captain America throwing this thing around, just blocking all your damage. I love the parrying system in this game. It's so fun in a shooter. Following the green projectiles, the red, jumping, boom, boom, boom. What I really like about Doom in general is the kind of like the weapon puzzle game of it all, where it's like, okay, you see certain characters, you know how their weaknesses are. So you're never using the same weapon. You're constantly flipping between it. I'm using a mouse, so I got like my 16 button mouse, so I'm just constantly just hitting things, checking to the shotgun, then throwing my shield, then getting out my skull crusher and just mowing through all these like little lowly dudes, then using like just so many different combinations of things. It was awesome. And then with this game, they kind of make it more exploration friendly, so you can go off the beaten path and find little collectibles and find currency that you can use to upgrade things. And then they actually have a really good story in this one. I think the other games, they never really had that many like cutscenes and stuff, but this game, oh my gosh, the production value of this game is unbelievable. When you have those moments where you're going on like your cyber dragon and you're flying around, it looks like Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings, and there's like these different vessels and ships. Like, the world building of this game is incredible. The designs of the Sentinel armor and the different like other characters, it just was so large. Like this is such an awesome game. The music, I mean, what can you say? The music is always great, and you just put on a pair of headphones and blast the music. It feels so good. It's just this like innate joy of slaughtering demons, and just the difficulty is cool too, because like, and I'll talk about this for my next game as well, but the accessibility options, especially for this game, going in and tweaking just about everything you can think of with difficulty. If you want to make the projectiles go twice as fast, you can, or you can make them go half the speed and like easily dodge them. There's so many little things you can adjust slider wise to really make the game the game you want to play. So props to those guys for really going above and beyond with that. But yeah, just absolutely love this game. We'll go back. I don't know if there's going to be any expansions or anything like that in the future, but I don't know if anybody in the chat here has played Doom. I think somebody has, at least one person maybe.
I mean, I started it. I just need to finish it.
You gotta finish it. Yeah. JT, did you play this one?
No.
Oh yeah, because it came out right around Oblivion.
I played Doom 2016, and then I tried Eternal, It was way too much for me, and I just put the series down at that point.
It got really hard. Yeah, it got really crazy. So many enemies on the screen at once and whatnot. I mean, I will say, yeah.
Really cool. Nothing against it. Just not my game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, back to number 2. We're gonna go to number 2 now. Over to Peanut. What's your number 2, man?
Keeping on tune with my anime theme I've got going on here. Digimon Story Time Stranger.
No way.
Yeah, I've always loved. Well, so I've always loved Digimon as like an anime. Why are you sideways? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, fighter.
Because you're like me. We're soul linked right now. My number 2 was Digimon as well.
Okay. Yeah. So out of the Digimon games, I really preferred their story franchise that they do because they've got like 2 or 3 different like game styles that they'll run at a time. They've got story. I forget the names of the other ones because the only ones I pay attention to are the story. And this one, I mean, the animation is amazing. I have slight issues with not being able to skip certain cutscenes and whatnot. Whenever you can skip others, it's kind of a bother. Or having here's a cutscene, that cutscene ends. Here's another cutscene. Here's another cutscene. Like there are points of the game where it's like, why do you have 30 cutscenes when you could have just made one cutscene? Type thing. But those matters aside, it's a great game. You get to collect, I mean, hundreds. I don't remember the full count of how many there are, but the story itself is amazing. Getting to choose your starter between these 3 that are well known from the anime series, and then after a certain point, they pretty much just send you on your way to where you can just go out and explore and be like, well, I just want to sit here and grind this guy out a little bit. Or if you really want to be that guy in like one of the first missions, there's a high level boss that you are not meant to beat, but you can just go do this little trick that takes 20-30 minutes, and then you're strong enough and you're ready to fight him.
Wow.
And if you beat him, you can get some good gear to help you out, a little bit. And I mean, Digimon definitely beat Pokemon this year. I'll say that. Like with the stuff that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I won't say too much more on it because I know Fighter said it's his number 2.
I'll say this. I'll interject. I actually did get the chance to play this game at New York Comic Con. I told Fighter, I was like in line. I think I was like, dude, I'm playing Digimon right now because he had told me about it earlier. At that point, it wasn't that big of a deal because the game was already out. But they had it at the Bandai Namco booth. And as I was playing the game, I'm like, this is what the Pokemon game should be like right now. Like, this game has high fidelity. It looks like it should be on the current gen. And you go back to, like, Scarlet, and why does this game look like it should be on the GameCube? Like, the Digimon games actually look good.
It's got voice acting.
Yeah, that too.
And that argument.
Well, there you go. The floor is yours, Fighter. I know you've been itching to talk about this game. I can't believe that Peanut actually chose it. A good thing I got him to come on today.
Well, it was gonna be my number 2 either way because like Peanut, it's such a good game in its own right. To be able to, like, yes, it has a lot of cutscenes, but most RPG games will. But I agree, it can be cut down to a certain extent. But I have like several other friends, like coworker Mike. Once again, I got him to play it, and we were literally racing to see who would beat the game first. Because it's like, all right, we're done work, we're gonna go play it. And I have like my buddy Steve, my buddy Todd. It's like this game does well in its RPG turn-based element. Because it's like the turn-based part of it is it's like almost like an old school Final Fantasy thing where you set it up an attack, the enemy will retaliate. Then it's their turn, and then it goes back to being your turn. Depending on how fast you build your Digimon, you could have a fast team where you can do a lot of damage in one burst sitting.
Oh.
But you have to watch out because the enemy can just do the same thing where they debuff you insanely much to the point where you do abysmal damage. And it drags out Peanut, I don't know if you had the same difficulty as the Junomon fight second form as much as I did.
Oh, I haven't played it in a while. I'm trying to remember. I definitely had one fight to where it was like I was ready, like I could deal damage, but I just got hit with so many debuffs to where it's like I don't know if I'm going to survive long enough for it to get to my turn. If it could get to my turn, I could beat him, but I wasn't getting to my turn.
Well, fun fact, that boss fight, she's like, oh, those healing items? Nope, can't use them anymore. I'm like, shit. But being able to relive and replay the series like Digimon to hit that childhood factor, because I liked playing the Cyber Sleuth. I liked playing the Hacker's Memory. The story games are phenomenal. They are a needle in a haystack buried with all the other competitors and the franchises and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a single player to sit down and just soak in 2 hours or 3 hours, however long you want to play it, it will get you, and it will be like, I really like the story, I really like the game, and it's just that itch of being able to stay in the zone, grind out the level. Then it's like, all right, now let me go fight the boss. All right, I'm not strong enough to go deal with the boss yet. Let me go back. To being able to see what Digimon you're going to be able to get based on the stats that you're protruding in, to the expansive skill tree that you have, to where certain attributes will have less restrictions over others because you're trying to match the personality type or the skill type that the Digimon has. So being able to build your team to get to that final Digimon, like by the time I'm getting into the end game, I have so many Mega and DNA Digivolutions of Digimon where I'm like, I remember this guy from the show. I remember this one from the last game. It just feels so good to be back in that little child's dream of playing Digimon back in like the early 2000s with all the other games that it was, because it's just so much fun to relive those memories of being able to have the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And they recently just put out their first episodic pack for Digimon, and they just showed off a trailer for the second one to come out. So it's definitely a game that's gonna. I wouldn't say that's gonna have momentum like all the other heavy hitters. Eventually, I think it will hit a stopping point. But for what it's worth now, I think Bandai Namco definitely hit the bullseye mark with what it is, and it shows the world that this is what an RPG game should look like. This is how it should feel like. This is how it feels. Eventually, I would like to go back and do New Game Plus, because I definitely didn't do a whole lot of stuff. I definitely did all my side quests, but I would like to. I would like to challenge
side quests.
This. Oh my god, bruh! The amount of side quests is ridiculous.
That's the game. You have to do the side quests because completing side quests unlocks. I forget what it was, but you basically had to do certain side quests in order to gain certain abilities or something like that. I haven't played it in so long now. I'm trying to remember, but there's instead of it just being basic like money rewards and whatnot, it's like, well, have you done 25 side quests yet? Otherwise, you can't do this and stuff like that.
It's just overall the game. I would like to see, like, anytime I see a Digimon story, I know it's an instant buy for me, because I know I enjoy and I get my money's worth out of it. I think I did. I can't even remember, but by the time I was done doing all the stuff in the game, I had like 80 hours on it, because I was just enjoying it that much. And then Chris, I told you on Crunchyroll they came out with Digimon Break, which is the new season of Digimon, and being to play that game and then going back to watching the show, it's like I'm reliving my childhood. I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting here playing a Digimon game and watching a Digimon anime at 30. What am I? I'm 32 now. Jesus, I feel old.
But yeah, I mean, I go back with I had a couple packs of trading cards back in the day. I actually still have. I could go and find it.
I still have my Digimon cards in my room.
My PlayStation, my original PlayStation Digimon game.
And they had, and like Peanut said, they had so many different variants of games where it was you had the story, you have World, you
Uh,
have Digimon Survivors, which is their version of like Final Fantasy S Tactics, if
oh,
that makes
okay.
sense.
And
Yeah.
then World
And
was essentially what pretty much kicked off the entire thing. It started off as you were the Digimon, I believe, in World, and
you were you were the trainer.
yeah, and it was basically their Neopet essentially version, except in a video game format, because you would have to take care of it properly to get it to grow and digivolve the right way. Otherwise, you got the goo essentially, and
Yeah, you got
had
the
to
poop
start
Digimon.
over. Which, I mean, let's be honest, if you played that game as a kid, you were always getting the goo because you didn't understand
Those
stats and
games are
whatnot
ridiculously
at that
hard for no
age.
reason. I always said that. I'm like, why is it a game where I'm supposed to be trying to level up, taking care of my Digimon, feed him like a Tamagotchi? So goddamn difficult. I'm like, I feel like I'm playing Elden Ring at this point, just trying to keep my damn thing alive.
And the time management too, because like you would have to try to get to a certain point somewhere, and because it was on a time system for you have like 6 days or 6 in-game days or whatever to do your training, and at the end of day 6 it digivolves. So you couldn't just sit there and like play with it. I mean, you could, but you had to stay focused the entire time and to try to get what you wanted out of it.
Oh man. Well, but there you go. Digimon in the year 2025. Who would have thought? Over to you,
Digimon are the
JT, with
champions, man.
your number 2, Jar Jar.
My number 2 is going to be Battlefield 6.
Nice.
Fun, reasonable length campaign. Rips your heart right out from the beginning because it starts off and you're like,
Yeah.
this feels like the Bad Company crew all over again.
Yup.
And then just right out. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no. But no. My views on the game are separate from Red Sec, which I will not be playing. I'm out of the Battle Royale game. I'm retired. Not doing it anymore. But as far as the regular multiplayer goes, we are back. It feels like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 again. They did away with that awful idea of putting operators in instead of classes.
Oh, yeah.
It's back to what Battlefield is supposed to be. It was a little disheartening, a little disappointing to have a futuristic Battlefield come back and have it be 2042 and as bad as it was. But now we're back. We're back. Battlefield 1 was great. Battlefield 5 was great. I've had enough of the World War I and World War II stuff. I'm good with the modern combat now. It just feels, the moment-to-moment gameplay is just great. It's not about winning or losing. It's about the crazy moments you end up in, with your squad of buddies that you're playing with, tank battles. I don't fly because I'm terrible at it, but
I hear you.
I will get in the gunner seat of an attack helicopter happily. It's just, as long as you're playing with the right people, you've always got some sort of story to come away with.
Yeah, really.
Even if it's from the beta. I remember you and I were playing, and we were on this map that was, I forget what map it is, but it's just Sniper Central.
Yup.
And
Liberation Peak.
I was hiding behind this broken wall, and I was in a sniper battle with this dude. And every time I got downed, you just defib me right back up. I just kept popping my head like a whack-a-mole. I just wouldn't stop. It was just back and forth for like 15 minutes.
Seriously, the whole game, we were just sitting
It's
there.
like that meme of, "Would you just let me die? No!"
It was just like, we weren't even playing for objectives at that point. It was just like, let's kill a son of a gun over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah, I mean, we were just having a conversation at that point, and I was like, all right, well, this is working. So, are we winning? I don't know, but it's fun.
That's why Battlefield 6 is so good. Dude, this is the third time we've brought it up on
it's
the
always
darn
that
podcast.
dopamine hit when you see that your squad makes it to like the top 5 or the top 3 squads, and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
how? It's like, how did this Muppet crew do that?
Oh, man.
PT.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this game I'm about to mention has been mentioned already on the show tonight. And it's got to go for my number 2 to Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think I played this game more than any other game this year as far as hours spent. I was over 100 hours. I'm a huge fan, just like you, Peanut, of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I've played pretty much every of the mainline games. I haven't played Rogue. I haven't played, what was the other one, like Liberation or something, Liberty or Liberation or something like that. Like all the main ones I've played. But I really was hoping and waiting for this one set in feudal Japan, because that seems like it's a given. Like, duh, they have ninjas, like the shinobi. Like, let's make a game about these guys. And not only that, but we get the samurai as well. And I think they did a great job with just the, again, iconography of Japan at the time. Shinobi, samurai, very prevalent through the 1500s. And you're dealing with, like, the whole stories. You're also dealing with the Portuguese that are coming in and they're influencing with the firearms that they're bringing in. So you have access to different kind of tepos, which is their long guns and all this sort of thing. But I really thought it was a great idea for them to allow you to just switch on the fly between Naoe the shinobi and Yasuke the samurai. Just like the other recent Assassin's Creed games, getting to do your builds, which was really fun. So you can go in and you can have different loadouts, different builds. The weapons have different effects. So it's very much like, you can loot different things and say, oh, that'll work good for this stealth build or this build where it makes Yasuke basically invincible. Really good detail in this game. And I mean, this might be the best looking game I played all year. Because it really is astounding, the size of the map, and you could go to Kyoto and Osaka and all the way up in the north and to the west, and there's just this vastness to it, and the foliage, like you get lost in literally the bushes. You can't see. I've never seen such dense foliage in a video game before. It's kind of crazy, but like the physics in this game are so cool because you can get your katana or kasirigama and just start slashing through all this stuff. And like when you're Yasuke, you can just like slash through doors and they just fall apart and just jump in and just start killing people left and right. One of the coolest things about this game as well is the weather system, and the seasons are just unbelievable. Every season, spring, autumn, summer, winter, and especially when it becomes winter, like the ice forms, you could go on top of water, and it's like the snow muffles your sound, and it's just such a cool way of playing a game, is being able to plan your attack, go in at night, go in during the day, whatever you want to do. Then and the movement patterns of the hostile enemies change. If it's winter, they're going to be huddling inside around a fire. If it's the middle of summer, they're all going to be out there sweating, and you can plan your avenues of attack from that. And I'm sure I'm probably missing something else about why this game is number 2, but I mean, obviously the combat is just really, really fun. Like these games resolve around that. And I played this game in the canonical mode, I guess it's called, where it's all, Japanese speaking language, and it's subtitled, and it's really well done job by the actors there. And just like Doom, the Dark Ages, they have really great accessibility you can go in and you can make specifically like the stealth like really easy so nobody basically finds you even if you're in plain sight. You could turn out and then you could specifically make the combat like super tough and challenging. Or like I think you were telling me that you did this, Jar Jar, is you could just turn on automatic assassins, automatic assassinations. Just have fun with just taking people out instantly. So, like, there's again another game where you could just choose the way you want to play, whether it be accessibility options or just like building your character the way you want them to build. But the beauty of this game, and it was crazy because I was in Japan and I literally went to some of the same locations that are in this game with my character. I was like, holy crap, this is again surreal to be here or to see this when I got back. I'll be like, I was there. This is crazy. So yeah, really love this one. They had an expansion. The game is basically done now. I think they're done with the content, although it is on a Switch 2. And Switch 2 apparently has got good performance reviews on it. So, because I got a ton of stuff left to do. I rolled credits on the main story, but I mean, I have at least probably another 20 hours worth of content of me going around and taking targets out and different things like that, which could be really fun to play on the go on like the bus or on a train or something like that in the future. But yeah, I really, really love this one. And it's hard for me to say. I still think the story of Odyssey is better, but just about everything else in this game makes it, other than the story, like the best in my eyes, like modern day Assassin's Creed. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any.
I still think Black Flag was the best one. I'm still saying that Black Flag.
Oh
was
yeah, well here's the thing.
best.
When I say modern, I say from like Origins to Odyssey to Valhalla, like those three.
Yeah, whenever they changed the play style, where you're more
Yep.
RPG-ish.
Yeah. And it's nice because with the canon mode, I forgot to mention this as well, like you don't have to do any dialogue options. It just picks like automatically what your person in the canonical story would say. So you don't have as much RPG elements. If you don't want to play the game like that, you could just turn on automatic assassins, turn on canon mode, and the game is basically like an OG Assassin's Creed game from a certain point of view, I guess.
I like that. I'm gonna have to remember to check the settings whenever I do end up eventually getting it.
Yeah. Well, when you start the game, they ask if you want to do the canon mode and if you want to do all that sort of thing. It's called immersive mode, is with like the Japanese speaking. I definitely advise you to play it that way because from what people have told me, like the dubbed version is the voice acting isn't really that great or something like that, and it's because it's like the Japanese voice actors are doing like their second language take at reading the lines, which it's difficult. I mean, I don't speak another language,
it's the same
so
voice actors. They're just okay. I was thinking like they brought in a different set of crew or something for the alternate voices. And
I'm pretty sure it's the same people that do the Japanese, but they do speak English as well. I think is what happened.
I think the voice actor for Yasuke did a marvelous job portraying both, because if it is the same person, I didn't think it would be. Like, the dubbing, like you said, it's definitely harder to dub a language that you're not familiar with. But I think that's also what gives its authenticity in a way, because somebody who would be speaking Japanese fluently to switch to English, obviously there would be a dialect, there would be some type of broken English wording or phrasing or sounds coming from that person.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So this is it. We're into our top games of 2025. Throw it over to Peanut. I already know what you other guys are gonna say. He is the black sheep in this one. I don't know what he's about to say, but let us know. What's your top game, man?
So this one's kind of different for me. I'm normally not a fan of the narrative styles that this game does, but my personal game of the year is Dispatch.
Oh, I heard good things about this one for the PS5.
There's no, you're not running around, you're not fighting anything. Like, there are a few cutscenes where it's just like, hey, click this part and drag or something, and a couple times narrative driven, conversational, and just kind of back and forth and whatnot. But Ad Hoc Studios did great. They brought in a bunch of people from Critical Role to the point where they get credited on the game as well for voices. And it's just amazing. It's great. They've got, I'm blanking on names. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, from Breaking Bad.
Is like the main voice. Oh my god, I'm lagging hard on my computer. Oh, that's why Monster Hunter was finishing the last % of download.
Well, I was also experiencing it, so it wasn't just Monster Hunter. It was we Discord.
Okay. I was wondering what was going on there, but yeah, like just it's great because the story element behind it is a generational superhero without superpowers. Where like your dad was a superhero, your grandpa was a superhero, and they were basically the Iron Man of this universe in a sense because they had no powers and they fought in a giant mech. I'm not going to spoil how, but you lose the mech in a big fight, and they basically publish that you're dead or something like that. But in reality, you go to work behind the scenes at the dispatch center, and you have a crew of heroes that you are like supervising essentially, and then like the game part of itself outside of conversation is you're looking at the map, and then like something will ping over here, and it'll be like, hey, we've got this. Who do you want to send? And you have to look at your team of like 5 or whatever, and you're on a timer to send them and everything. It's like, what do you want to send? Because they all have their own stats and stuff, and you kind of have to go off of their personality also because they're all like ex-villains. And so you have to decide, like, who do you want to send where and stuff. But then while that's going on, another one's going to ping over here. Did you just send the wrong guy over there because maybe they were needed over here? It's really fun. I haven't finished it yet. I'm really close to the end because I'm replaying the missions a few times just to like explore every branch of the dialogue tree. And it's a really fun one without like having like I've never been so stressed just like looking at a list of people being like, who do I want to send to the school type thing, or who should go save the cat from the tree. And like you're not jumping, you're not like mashing X to hack and slash or anything. It's just a good narrative, art-based story. And a lot of the reviews have said this as well, but it proves that the superhero genre isn't dead as long as the direction behind it isn't lazy.
Wow.
Because there is no laziness to what they like. Every character they introduce, you can tell like they have the emotion. They have, they're not sugarcoating the words. Like, go into this with an 18 and plus mindset because these are adults. They're not kids. They're not out in the public during these conversations, so they're dropping F-bombs. Like there's a couple of characters where it's like every other word because that's who he is whenever he's not out in the public and having to like have that persona up. And you can just it's a love letter to superheroes really, and it proves that the genre is not dead.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, from what I hear, it's a bunch of ex Telltale developers, right, that worked on that game. Like, I played pretty much almost every one of the Telltale games, from whether it be Game of Thrones to Tales from the Borderlands to, of course, The Walking Dead. And especially with The Walking Dead, like, those games were, oh my gosh, the Borderlands one too was really. And then you had the Wolf Among Us, which I think we're still waiting on a second one. I don't know if that's ever gonna get made, but so it's basically like that, right? Like I could have a different game than you, basically. Is that how it runs? Like with the choose your own adventure aspect of it?
Pretty much. The only thing that I've noticed so far is like, some of the dialogue will be different, and you'll have stuff up in the corner like, oh, this person remembered that because depending on how you respond. But the only big change that I know of is you have an option between 2 characters that you can romance.
Oh, okay.
And it seems like it's locked behind your choices. I'm sure there's other stuff. Again, I haven't fully finished it yet, but there are some subtle changes, in dialogue depending on what you choose.
Yeah, I really would like to try this one out. I think
They
from
do
what I
have a demo.
remember, this was coming out on like a weekly cadence. So it's kind of a cool moment because I remember seeing a lot of the people in the games industry were like, "Oh, there's another episode or two of Dispatch out today," and they'd be like rushing to play it. So it was almost like that, the like weekly like water cooler discussion of a video game, which is something we often don't get. It's like you get a game all at the same time, and then your friends might be behind you, and then you're ahead of them, and you can't really spoil things. So it could be problematic to talk about a game you're currently playing. But in the case of that game, it was like, oh yeah, everybody's playing through a bite-sized portion of the game every week. And you could have those discussions that you would with your friends or coworkers after watching like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or Stranger Things or something like that.
Yeah, and then
So
like I
yeah.
know they plan on doing more, but a bunch of again the guys from Critical Role do a bunch of the voices, and they're big financiers of the game.
Mm.
They said, yeah, we want to do more of this, but the ad hoc guys, they have another project they're working on. We're pressing pause on continuing the dispatch story for now because we want them to finish their passion project that they want to work on instead of just pushing our stuff. Which is, you don't see that a lot in the gaming industry.
Mm-mm.
If someone's like, I want this and I'm financing it, you better do it now. And instead, these guys are like, no, we're financing it, but you guys take your time, go do your thing. You guys want to make something else. We don't want you to get burnt out on this project,
Yeah,
which is just amazing.
that's really something. So there you go, Dispatch. I honestly was expecting you to go with Pokemon ZA with how much you were talking my ear off about
No,
that game.
no, I got the DLC for that one and everything, but after a certain point in that game, like it's fun, but after a certain point, the game is just a rinse and repeat method, and it's it falls off pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's no
It's still,
Digimon.
yeah, it's no Digimon. It's fun, but it's not. I mean, it didn't even make my honorable mentions for games this year.
Alrighty, what's it gonna be for your number one game of the year, fighter?
Well, you already know because we've talked about it. It's the one and only, the one that won Game of the Year this year, Clair Obscure, Expedition 33.
Yeah.
For a game that I got to play on Game Pass for free, I wasn't expecting to be sucked in as hard as I did, where it was, all right, I had to go to bed, and then it's like, now I'm done with work. What do I want to play? I'm going to play Expedition. I'm going to continue. Like, I literally remember just playing that game for days on end just because, like, that game just did so much so right, from the art design, from the voice acting, to the music, to the fights. It kept that momentum going for, like you wanted to see what was going to happen next. You wanted to experience what the game had to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I told you, and you experienced it firsthand. You like it. The game's that narrative pulls at your heartstrings
Oh
because
yeah.
it's the last time that I had something like that was um, The Last of Us, with Joel losing his little girl in the beginning of the story.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like it's
Spoiler
like
alert.
oh my god, the game's been remastered 4 or 5 different times.
And it's on a TV show.
And it's a TV
No,
show.
I didn't see it in the newest one.
Did you play the original?
Yes.
Fine. But
I know nothing of this. You're spoiling it all.
It's a new game, right?
no, it's not.
It counts. It counts in the Game of the Year conversation, right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cricket. But but the game, to also doing the RPG element so well as well, for making builds, to
Yeah.
being able to experience each character's story individually and understanding them, building a bond with them, feeling like understanding where they come from. the game's just done it so well, which is why it's won all the awards that it did and Game of the Year. And it's that studio is very small. They're all, I believe, they're all ex Ubisoft developers. So it's like to be able to branch off from somebody like a known developer like Ubisoft to do your own thing, to do an indie developed game to becoming its own triple A in its own right is just something so marvelous to see nowadays. I could go on and on, but I know Chris is going to say some choice words of his own. But I listened to two songs of the soundtrack so much because it's just such a good soundtrack. Like I highly recommend listening to at least the opening song. That it's an 11-minute song, but to hear the acoustics, to hear the female audio mix in with the males and the guitar, it's so well done. And the fact that the gentleman who did the music isn't even like well known. He was a gentleman that put his music on, I think it was like SoundCloud or whatever a private musician would put out for
Yeah.
like to be noticed. He got called. They're like, "Yo, we want you. Like we want you to come in and do this with us." So to be able to pluck some random guy, and show him like that he's worth this exact moment of his career, like it paid off for him. And I also loved during the Game Award that I believe the head developer, or I forget who he was, each time he went up there, he didn't take the stage. He just supported his team. He's like, no, this is your spot. This is what you excelled at. This is your moment. And then when it was Game of the Year, then that's when they both came up and they both shared it.
Mm.
So seeing a team that's so well versed in its feeling like a family with its community and with each other is what makes a video game a good video game. It's being able to hear the people, understand your team, and trusting one another with what they're able to do.
Yeah, you talk about a small studio, and you would think it's a AAA game, but it kind of is more like a AA game, I guess, in that respect. But you know, good on Xbox for backing up and putting them on Game Pass, because that got the game a lot more eyeballs than it probably would have. I mean, it probably would have still gotten pretty good praise, but
and I'm willing to bet money that because it was on Game Pass, that people like eventually thought like, oh, this game's gonna go away eventually, or maybe they'll pull it. It's like I want to keep it. I want to buy it for myself, so that way they can either finish it at a later time,
yeah,
or just showing support for the developer that made it. Because I think I've done that a couple times where I've played a game on Game Pass and I'm like, the studio's definitely earned my money. Like I will pay the actual price.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this game is, and there's at least one thing that you haven't mentioned in your reason why it's your game of the year. So at least I can go off of that a little bit more. But when I get to mine, but yeah, no, with everything with the story is, you were talking to me about this, and I think you hit the nail on the head. There's not really a game out there that I can think of that I've played personally that really tackles the way of what it's like to grieve and what it's like to pay respects to people that have gone before you or way before their time, and how you move past that, how you heal, and people at their downright worst, and how they come through the other side, and there's a hope to it. And the splendor of the environments are just unbelievable. Just looking at these crazy environments, just really again, kind of like the Keeper game I mentioned, really whimsical stuff floating in the air and whatnot, and just the enemies and everything like that, which is so good, so good. I can go on for like 10 minutes, so I'll just throw it over to
there's so much you can talk about. It's just so hard.
It's so hard, yeah. We'll throw over to Jar Jar. What's your number one, man?
My number one is Ghost of Yotei. I put a healthy 130 hours into
Whoa.
my playthrough. Yeah. Um, it. I can say similar things about it that I said about
Tsushima.
uh Jedi Survivor in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of like sequel quality. I think for being a different character, I think it handles being a sequel perfectly. Um, for instance, in the first game in Tsushima, which should be fresh for you, um, in order to deal with different types of enemies, you had different stances, but you
Yeah.
mainly had your katana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Ghost of Yotei, their method of dealing with different enemies, brutes, polearms, shielded guys, you have all your different weapon types. So you
Mm-hmm.
have your single katana, you have your uh, uh, dual katana
Whoa.
stance, which is good against polearms.
Hmm.
Um, you have a you have a Yuri in there, your own spear type
Hmm.
weapon, which is good against guys who are holding two weapons, dual
Mm-hmm.
wielding stuff. Um, your Odachi, your great katana, whatever. That's what you use against your brutes. The Kasarigama
Hmm.
is in there too, just like shadows, and
Nice.
that's your shield breaker.
Oh.
You know, um, it keeps it going with the environments are just as eye catching as the first one. Um, you can just explore and explore and explore and not even look at your map. You know,
Wow.
um, I think the story this time around lends itself a lot better to the gameplay. Um,
Hmm.
the story in the original, like the gameplay, kind of made you want to be more of an upfront samurai the entire time,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, that doesn't really matter at all because of the certain story things that force you to do
Oh yeah.
the dishonorable things, so it really has no impact. Um, but Yote, the story and the style of gameplay it wants you to do are a lot more cohesive with each other. It feels a lot more natural. Um, and yeah, I mean, just some crazy boss fights in that game too. I must feel like I need to punish myself in some way, going from playing on that game on lethal to going
Oh.
straight into two more Elden Ring runs.
Oh my
So
gosh.
cle clearly, clearly,
So does that mean you
clearly, I
get
should.
one shot and you die or something on lethal?
Lethal is like a modified hard mode.
Oh.
Um, so the enemies deal the damage that they would in hard mode, but you deal the damage that you would in like easy mode, right?
Oh.
So it's like aside from the
Mm.
boss fights, which are crazy hard, um, like the boss duels, those are still pretty difficult. But everything else, you are equally as lethal to the enemies as they are to you.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So once you get through someone's stance or someone's shield, it's like one, maybe two
Mm-hmm.
hits and they're down. But
Okay.
same goes with you. You know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I beat Tsushima on that difficulty.
The first
and
time
that's
playing
what I
through it, you played
Yotei
like
on
that?
as well. Yeah. Yeah.
He's a madman, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm the guy that does that.
So
Except in shooters.
so there's that much side content to do to get you to 140 hours or whatever you said, huh?
Yeah. I'd
Wow.
get into a new area and I'd do all of the side content in the
Whoa.
area, and then I'd continue on with the story.
Sheesh.
Just like any other RPG. or
Seems
Assassin's
way
Creed
larger
game,
than Tsushima,
whatever.
because I don't even think I hit 100 hours in that game, and I thought I did pretty much everything.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of it was retrying the same boss multiple times because I would die 50 times in a row. Like it would take 50 tries to beat a boss. You know, that difficult of timing and whatnot. But my slow eyes and hands aren't what they used to be. No.
Yeah, I can agree with that myself. And yeah, so like when it comes to the games, what do you enjoy playing more, this or the first one?
I think I enjoyed this more, honestly.
Wow. It's a high
The
bar for the first one.
and the first one was great. The first one is still one of my favorite games, but I still think with the way the first game presents choices to you, like I played straight samurai through the whole thing. Like even the story missions that kind of force you to do other stuff, I still played them straight perfect samurai, and then you get to the ending and you're like all it comes down to is whether you spare the other character or
Yep.
you don't, and that's it. So the rest of how you decide to play the game really doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
As great as Tsushima is, for that reason, I would put Yotei over Tsushima because the gameplay and the story are just that much more cohesive.
Well, I really hope that Sucker Punch is currently working on a PC port, then hopefully it doesn't take them 4 years to get it on Steam, because I will not be buying a PS5 just to play that one game, but I will definitely be playing it as soon as it comes to PC, now knowing how good the first game, and now you're talking about how well the second game is for you, how good it is. I just want to also make a note that, like, look, top three, two of the games in our top list are both feudal Japan focused games, which is pretty freaking cool in my eyes. And not only that, there is a lot of other ninja games. People are in the industry are calling, hey, the year of the ninja, because you had Ninja Gaiden 4. I think that...
I want to.
Did you play that one, Fighter?
Not yet. I want to.
Then they had the remake of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Then they had another Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Then they had, which is like a classic Ninja Gaiden, like NES, like side scroller. Then they had, I don't know the full title, but there's a Shinobi, like Sega looking side scrolling game that came out for Shinobi. So yeah, there was so much to choose from, and from what it seems like, every one of these type of games that came out was very well received. Like every one of these games might have been somebody's game of the year. So pretty awesome to see that. You already know what my game of the year is, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. I pushed this freaking video as far as I could to make sure I beat the game. So I beat it the day after Christmas, so I was cutting it really close. But the one thing you didn't mention, Fighter, was the gameplay. And what I will say is, like, you guys were talking about turn-based games before. And while I have played turn-based games like Pokemon, I haven't played like a legit like JRPG ever. Like, I've never played Final Fantasy, never played, the Legend of Mana games or any of these other myriad of JRPGs or Persona, nothing like that. So I just jumped headfirst into this game, and I was like, oh man. And I will admit, Fighter, in the first maybe 5 hours, I contemplated just putting the game down and maybe being like, maybe this isn't the game for me. Just from like a difficulty perspective. All right, what makes this game really interesting is it's turn-based, you go, I go, you go, I go. But they make it more reactive, and that's what Sandfall Interactive, the developer, really did something clever, where they almost make it like an Elden Ring-esque kind of Dark Souls type of parry dodge system that is really brutal, really punishing, even on medium difficulty. That's where I was getting caught up. I'm like, I keep getting owned by these damn guys. Like, I can't time it just right. So I actually had to put it down to easy mode for like an hour or two just to kind of get better with the timing, because I just straight up never parried people ever until I had to do like the parry gradient thing. Like, I would never even try because like the timing on those, even on medium, is just like ridiculously short. Like if you're not there on the second of, you're screwed. Like, it's got to be timed to the millisecond almost, I feel like. So, but once you get it down, what was so cool about it is the learning experience of, going against the same boss over and over again. Like, I'm talking about Renoir with the lion I was telling you about. I was on that boss for over an hour. I'm the type of gamer, Jar Jar, that like, I know you're like talking about giving people a go for 50 tries in a row. I used to do that. I'm not that way anymore. If I can't get past a certain thing within like an hour, I get really aggravated, really mad because I'm like, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time here. But with this game, I actually felt compelled to learn the movement patterns of these characters, to come up with maybe other strategies, other loadouts with my Luminas to like get some certain talents that would make it a little bit easier on myself. So I found myself actually liking the journey of like, oh, when I get to a hard boss, I don't get aggravated because it was never and it's the good weighing and grading of a good game is it should never be about the game itself. It should be about you as a player. I'm not adapting well enough to the mechanics. Everything is a fair game. Nothing felt cheap. It was just me having to sit back, memorize, okay, this guy's going to hit in this kind of rhythm. I just have to memorize it. And then I would get past it. It would take me maybe 30 minutes or less on some of these harder bosses I would try several times. I would get past it and I would have this, dopamine drop of like, yeah, I did it. This is great. Awesome serotonin release. And then it would get to the next thing. So, just talking from somebody that's never played JRPGs, and then you throw in like these Dark Souls-esque parry dodge mechanics, I'm like, whoa, this is a really cool system, really fun. Then you throw in these QTEs, quick time events with your different abilities. You have that going off. Your synergies are going off. You got the music blasting in the background. I'm like, this game is freaking incredible. This game is freaking incredible. And you didn't mention this one either, Fighter, but the whole idea of like the thematic resonance of this is such a French game. Like, there are certain games out there that, and even like a game like maybe Shadows or Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima did this so well with like shining a light on the Japanese culture, and this game shines light on the French culture in the same sort of manner, where like they're using curse words from, I'm pretty sure they're French curse words and stuff in there, but like just the idea of like the clothing, like they have the striped shirts and they have the mimes and they have all that sort of thing going on. It looks like you're in Paris, like Lumiere City is basically Paris, and it really got me into the vibe of like, oh yeah, it's cool to see the small studio so proud of their heritage and putting it out there for us to kind of consume and be like, hey, this is special to us. The iconography of what we really enjoy, what we believe, and where we come from is really cool. But yeah, the music, oh my gosh, the music hit me in the feels. I got choked up several times, got teary-eyed several times playing this game, more so than I think just about any other game I've ever played in my life. Like, the storytelling, the characters, everything. You were telling me at work, Fighter, about the Minoko character. Like you had
Minoko.
quoted him.
I love that fuzzy little bastard.
The little furry guy, and all these like great interactions, and none of the characters in this game feel like throwaway characters. Like you said, they all have these really great backstories. If you take the time to like talk to them at your camp and all this sort of thing, you romance them, all these different things, you start to unravel more and more, and you get rewarded for talking about different things. And oh man, like what I will say is like the game is just every level of it, every aspect, whether it be graphics or characters or gameplay or music or just overall design concepts of mechanics. Like everything is top notch, and it's crazy to me that a studio, like you said, a little small indie studio, was able to just pull this thing off and it be so original. It's not a sequel. It's not part of any established franchise. It's a game that is out there doing its own thing, and I really respect it for it. That's why it's my game of the year. So
I agree 100%. But like I said, there's just too much in the game itself to just give its due justice. Like us talking about it, like yeah, we can talk about it, but it's another thing to just experience it. Like I definitely would recommend, like if you can find it on a sale, whether it's on like a PC or whatever console that you're gonna want, pick it up. It's a decent play.
I mean, it's already a cheaper game at the beginning. Not cheaper in a sense of quality, but it's already a lower price game because it's only $50 at launch. So you could even get it probably for 35 or something if you look for it or whatever. But like again, like I wouldn't even put a price. Like I wouldn't even care about the price for this game. Honestly, buy it at full price because you're most likely going to enjoy it. I haven't heard anybody that I know of at least say that the game was bad or they didn't enjoy it. But I will say, like, be ready, like, be prepared. If you're not a fan, I mean, I am the poster child. I was about to say, like, if you're not a fan of JRPGs, don't play the game. I've never been a fan of them, and I got into it, which means that pretty much,
And he finished it.
like, you could be in my same boat and also enjoy it as well. Like, I think it's just that action style to it really is awesome. And, I almost forgot about this. So my brother-in-law, for Christmas, got me this, and I screamed like a little girl, man.
He got a bottle. Some bit.
My brother-in-law specifically custom made this water bottle because he had also played the game.
Get out.
And he has this device where I forget what it's called, but it can make labels, and you could like a really high quality label to put on this stuff. So tomorrow comes, man. I see this and I went, yo, this is my new gym bottle, Expedition 33. We'll see if there's any hardcore gamers at my gym that are gonna mention anything, because I do talk to a few of them there. But it's like, yes, this is the perfect present. I love it. So, but yeah, that about does it, man. That about does it for our game of the year. But as JT, as Jar Jar said earlier, anticipated games, we're gonna get into it. So I'll throw it over to. We'll go in the same order. I know I'm throwing this one at you last moment. I don't know if you've been paying attention to next year's releases at all, but is there a game you're looking forward to next year, Peanut?
So I don't think the release date has been announced for this one yet, but I know you and I are in a chat group with quite a few dinosaur aficionados.
Oh yeah.
So you already know where I'm going with this, probably. I'm really looking forward to Jurassic Park Survival.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been living under a rock or you just don't know the dinosaur lore, you essentially, I forget the character's name and all that stuff, but you're essentially playing as like a scientist or a research assistant or something along those lines that was on the island during the first movie, and she just misses the boat. And it's like a couple of days after the events of the first movie or something like that. And she is on this island alone. And she gets to go through these iconic set pieces from the movie. And I mean, it's there in the title, survival. You're
Yeah.
trying to survive on the island. Uh, Not much is really known about like the end goal. I think. I mean, I'd assume it's making contact with the mainland or something and getting off the island. But there could be a story twist or something where maybe she gets thrown to another island or something instead. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to that one. That's the only one that I've really been looking at so far.
And once again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I'm so happy you mentioned this game because for some reason I kind of forgot about it, which is crazy because, like you said, we're part of a Jurassic Park like nerd group chat. So I know that they recently put out a little featurette on like behind the scenes stuff, and
Mhm.
when I seen that, I had a lot more hype for the game because when they announced the game, I wasn't really sure where it was going, but then they showed like the amount of quality and detail they're going in with this game.
Yeah,
And we haven't really seen gameplay for it, but what I think it could be if it is this is maybe like an Alien Isolation version of Jurassic Park where it's like you're not going to be running around like Rambo with like machine guns taking out velociraptors. Like they're going to make you feel scared and the fear and you're going to have to hide and run. You're not going to
yeah. There's
probably
definitely going
have
to be a lot of stealth.
yeah, you're not going to be able to go to toe to toe to these things with like a bazooka or something. Like this is like legit going to be a survival aspect Jurassic Park game, which is awesome because again, going back to the late 90s on the PlayStation 1, there was a game called Dino Crisis made by the same guys that did Resident Evil. And I was always in my head going, this is the only game that I'll ever get that'll ever be close to like what I would imagine a Jurassic Park game would be. Like very low ammo, you're running around escaping these things just like Resident Evil, right? So, and this could be that like literally 25 years later after I wanted that game. It might finally be out. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. I think it is still supposed to come out this year, but I'm getting worried that it's like we're in 2026 basically and we have no release date or window, but I think it did say 2026, so hopefully.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on Steam because I've got it in my watch list. So it updates anything I get an email, and release date is still just to be announced.
Oh,
There's no
okay.
there's no window or anything for like a time
Yeah.
frame for it.
I believe the developer is the same developer that did Space Marine 2 and is working on Knights of the Republic remake.
Saber Interactive
Yep.
is the developer. Yep.
They're pretty big. Like, I think they have several studios. They must have like several studios. Like, they've just been more popularized because of Space Marine 2. Before then, they were like more of a support studio. Like, they worked on like helping ship out Halo Reach, I think, back in the day, and some other games like randomly. But now they seem like they're a full fledged, like full power studio. So I have higher hopes for them now, knowing how well the Space Marine 2 went. Even though I still haven't played it yet, I believe I'm gonna try to get there one of these days. I know Johnny and Jar Jar have been hounding me about that damn game came out, but I'll get to it eventually, all right. No, that's a great pool, man. It's a great pool. I'm happy you said it so I don't have to say it on my one. But going over to Fighter, what's your most anticipated game that we know of so far, at least?
I'm looking forward to a game called Pragmata.
Oh
And
yeah.
we saw the trailer during the Game Awards for actual gameplay and everything. They have a demo out on Steam,
Yep.
and I still need to install it onto my computer. But I'm a sucker for mechanized shenanigans.
Mhm.
I love the fact that in order to shut down a machine that's trying to kill me before I can even do damage to it, I have to hack into it to disable it, and being able to do damage to it. I'm also gonna like the fact that the main character you play as is carrying around this AI sentient girl that is able to hack into the mainframe of technology and
Well,
everything else, and her just being able to learn what it is to kind of be like a human, or what it is to be alive, and essentially in his attempt to get back, I believe, back to his home where don't know too much of the synopsis of what it is, but I definitely know I'm looking forward to the gameplay, the story behind it, because I believe Pragmata is also Capcom.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And anytime Capcom has always had a good story-driven games, like you said, Resident Evil, um, and other games escape my memory, but they've always had good game designs, good ideas behind new IPs that come out. And
Mm,
this was definitely announced, I think, like 2 years ago.
sounds about right.
Before then, but I think there was just a lot of problems technologically or financing or whatever have you, and they said like they came out with an apology letter saying sorry, we
Mm.
know that you guys are looking forward to this game, but we still need more time, and we hope that you understand. So it's like I'm excited to see this because if they're saying hey we need more time to do what we think is right, I then I think it'll be worth paying attention to.
Yeah, Capcom is on fire right now. They might be one of the most consistent quality serving studios on the planet right now. Every game they seem to put out is just so good. I mean, look at the Resident Evil series. Like, they haven't missed with that series in like over a decade. Like, every time they put out Resident Evil, it seems to be
Yeah, well,
just,
I mean, so then
yeah.
that's two because like you said, Resident Evil they have excuse me, Requiem coming out.
Yes, and as somebody that hasn't ever really played much of that series, I actually managed to play the new one early. And I really enjoyed it. It was horrifying. It was absolutely frightening. It's first person or third person, but playing it in first person, gosh, the jump scares and just the terror aspect of that thing with the lighting, with the graphics, and you just don't know what's around the next corner. And it really gets into you. It's pretty crazy. So, what about you, Jar Jar? What's your most anticipated game if it's not already Resident Evil?
Well, it was already Resident Evil.
I had a feeling.
I've played and loved uh every Resident Evil game that's come out. Well, the mainline ones that have come out since after 6. Um uh Loved 7, loved Village, 2 remake, 3 remake, 4 remake, all amazing. The RE engine is crazy. Uh, it's just crazy the level of detail
Mm.
in the gore and viscera and
Hmm.
just the disgustingness that they're able to
Ugh.
come up with in these games. It's
Yeah, it's
yeah,
there.
we've never seen that before, you know. At least in a survival horror setting, you know. We've seen some great looking games before, but not any that lean into the gore and the the horror stuff
Yeah.
like Resident Evil does. Silent Hill 2 remake comes close, but yeah, Resident Evil 9 is definitely going to be my most my most anticipated game of next year and is probably going to be the game of the year for me.
Mm.
Um yeah.
Well, let's put a pin in that until this time next year when we go around the horn again. But for
Yeah.
me, and I'll say the same thing you just said, it'll be hard for me not to. Unless something goes horribly wrong with this franchise, I can't see it happening, but Rockstar does no wrong in my eyes, at least. And I can't imagine that Grand Theft Auto 6 will not be my game of the year because
I think
GTA
you said
5
that
was.
last year too.
I probably did because it was supposed to come out. Darn it! I should have been playing it right now. It was supposed to come out in November. Now it's coming out the following November. So, But yeah, I mean, I won't try to tread on ground if I've said it again said it before last year. Just, I mean, we got another look at it this year. They gave us some more footage, and I mean, what else is there to say? Rockstar is very secretive, and you can't really know what they're working on until they're ready to show it. So, but if it's anything like 5, it's gonna be amazing because they're gonna push the technology, the open world, and the reactions of the pedestrians, and they'll probably have like 10 different fully featured mini games that are so good they could be their own games in their own right. Stuff like that. Just I want to see the maximum fidelity, the maximum amount of different polygons that they could push at us at the same time. Like they're always good at just benchmarking what it could be like to have an interactive open world and just everything involved and how it runs. And they're just really fun games to play too in my eyes. It's just getting in any car, hijacking and just going off ramps and getting into an airplane and flying around. Like there's just the limits are almost endless in these games. And the fact that they're taking a decade since, I don't even know when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, but it's certainly been over a decade since the last Grand Theft Auto game came out. So, yeah, Rockstar are some of the best in the business. I'm always looking to see what these big, prolific studios are going to do to move the posts forward with how the game industry is. And yeah, that's it. That's about it. If it comes out, they've already delayed it like twice, so I think this is hopefully the last time.
Time's the charm, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
My only issue with Rockstar is their PC launcher, because I lost my account on there and I can't create a new one because it still recognizes the email being used.
Oh.
And they're not helping me get any of my stuff back on PC. So,
oh no.
And I don't want to go and buy a console just for one game, which has been mentioned previously in this episode already. So, because I know it's going to be at least a year before it comes to PC after it comes out on console. And so, I don't know. I might have to jump on the high seas and find a version or something, and try it that way. But I am looking forward to that one as well.
All right. There we go. So we had some commonalities today. There's some people looking forward to Grand Theft Auto. Some people looking forward to Resident Evil. Battlefield 6 was mentioned a couple times. Digimon was mentioned a couple times. Clair Obscure was mentioned a couple times. Skate was mentioned by you, as well as Jurassic World. For a lot of this, we were all on the same page, which was really neat this year. We were all mentioned on the same page. One last little anecdote for me, at least, before we wrap things up, is for me, this was the year of me rediscovering my love for Nintendo, because I went over to Japan and I was like, oh, I gotta go try to get a Nintendo museum, which, by the way, is really difficult to get into in the first place. You have to go through a whole lottery system and everything else. And then once I got into that building, it was like this magical thing overtook me. And I was like suddenly just amazed by everything I was looking at, and every game I remember. And I was like, why do I not play Nintendo games anymore? Like, what happened? So like when Switch 2 came out, I was telling Fighter, I was in this line at Best Buy until literally midnight. I'm sitting in this little chair talking to two complete strangers about Nintendo games. And then I think from that moment on, I was like, "Dude, you gotta get a Switch. They have them still. You gotta get them."
Yeah,
and then,
this little clown right here, freaking, he's black. Not even like twisting my arm. He's got me like at a gunpoint. Meanwhile, I'm like fighting some type of fever or infection I had.
Gosh.
And luckily enough, I was coherent enough that I could drive and get over there. And I pulled the trigger on the Mario. I could only get the Mario Kart bundle,
Yeah.
which in its own hindsight, like, I was going to do it either way, but it's like I would have preferred to do the console, because then I think they took money off of Mario Kart if you bought it with it.
$80 freaking game. Oh goodness.
Yeah, freaking. And then I get home, I'm like, I put it on the table, take a picture, I send it to him. I said, "You see what you do to me? You see what you done did?" He's like, "Well, hook it
I remember you sending the pictures of you like at Best Buy. I think in one of our Discord groups. I think the Star Wars one probably.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I went looking. I didn't go like on launch or anything. I waited a little bit. And I kept checking the stores. They never had them. They never had them. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'm just going to get a Switch 1 OLED because I haven't had a Switch in like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So I get the OLED, and then 2 weeks go by. They are constantly on the shelves after that. I was like, I could have waited 2 more weeks and it wouldn't have been an issue. But no, I just had to get a Switch right now.
I am
Yeah,
shocked.
he's over there texting, saying like, "Oh, dude, you gotta get in line. Like it's a midnight line." I'm like, dude, I'm fighting a fever. You think I want to be in a crowd of people at midnight?
Because I had horror stories going back to the PS5 and the Xbox. I'm thinking, oh, you're never going to get one of these for like another year at least if you don't get in line right now. So like you might want to get here, because and I'm shocked Nintendo, as you said, Peanut, like Nintendo has somehow managed to keep these things in stock. Any place you go, you can just buy them right now. Like it's crazy. You can walk into a store during holiday season and buy yourself a Switch 2 at the height of when these things are going to be most desired. Like that is crazy.
That's because all other gaming companies are shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
We'll
a whole
say that
nother.
Xbox coming soon though. That's going to be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been diving into the catalog. Got the Nintendo Online membership thing where I get access to all the old games. So I just recently played through Donkey Kong Country, which I've never actually beaten that game, but they have this nice little handy dandy feature where you can like literally pause games and go back. So, oh my gosh, I would have probably never beat this game if I didn't have that function.
Yeah, it's got the rewind.
Cheesing it the whole time. You're like, oh, Dad, go rewind. I love that feature.
Oh, you little cheater.
I don't care. I'm just trying to experience the darn game, right? I can appreciate the difficulty though. So anyway, that's been my journey this year. I really appreciate my love for Nintendo once again. It's been rekindled, and I have a whole laundry list. Like last year was the year of Mario. This year is the year of Donkey Kong, because I'm going to play through all the Donkey Kong games until I can finally get to Bonanza and play through that, because that probably would have been on my top 3 from what other people have said. If I actually played the game, I would imagine it probably would have been from what other people say. Because like Odyssey, because it's made by the same people that did Odyssey, and I thought that game was a freaking masterpiece. So yeah, long story short, back on the Nintendo grind. Now I got Nintendo PC and Xbox to juggle for this next year, so that'll be fun. But yeah, very, very big year for me. I completed a bunch of games, over 20 games I somehow managed to roll credits on this year in some way, some shape or form. I'm not going to try to go that crazy on them this year. But, and that's on top of playing long-winded RPGs like Dragon Age and Avowed and Assassin's Creed. So, I'm going to try to do some shorter experiences. I think this year will be nice, but it is good to get cozy with a good old RPG every once in a while. And looking ahead, we got Fable coming out. We got a new Gears of War coming out. We got a new, not new Halo, but like a Halo remake and stuff like that. So there's so much coming out before then. Oh man, it's gonna be another good year. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, tonight. It was almost 3 hours, so we managed to almost get there. But I'm not gonna hold you guys to that 3-hour marker. We're close enough, I think. But yeah, I'll throw it over to Peanut. I know you have a podcast that I've been on at least a few times, or at least once or twice. Go ahead, shout out anything you want to have the people find you and listen to you on.
Yeah, so I've got my podcast. It's called Cinemabies. It's a rebranding of an old podcast that was Question Possible Answer. But basically what we do is we'll take a movie and we'll try to like find like small scenes that like aren't like heavy to the story, make subtle changes to those scenes and see how they would in turn impact the greater story. Scheduling is kind of a pain right now. I'm trying to get my Star Wars group back together. I've got a little, I call them my Jedi Knights, trying to get them all in the temple at the same time, essentially, to record for the past 2 months, and we still haven't been able to lock down a date for our next go-around. But yeah, that's available on Spotify. I'm trying to push it to other platforms, but I have to change who I use for like actually sending it out into the interwebs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, that's all I got.
There you go. And if anybody wants to play any games online with either of you guys or anybody in this channel, feel free to hit you guys up. I know. What account do you usually play on Xbox and whatnot, Peanut?
Oh, so I'm not on Xbox anymore. I'm strictly on Nintendo and on PC. My Steam name is DarthPeanut89, and I'm not whipping out the Switch to look at my friend code right now.
That is so antiquated. They got to do something about that freaking Nintendo. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Jar Jar, if people want to find you online or get a game going with you on Helldivers or whatever game you're playing multiplayer these days, where can the people find you?
They will find me on Xbox at Darth Jar Jar. Space in between the Darth Jar Jar. No space in Jar Jar. Because apparently the name was too long for Xbox, so they didn't let me do it. So I'm stuck with the #566 at the end. Because I could not put my normal numbers in there.
Gotcha. All right, and then Fighter, I know you got a couple different usernames sometimes, so.
Yeah, I'm a man of many names, many titles. PlayStation, I am Fighter2424. Xbox, I'm Ghost Hunter2424. Steam, I am Jumper244. Can you tell that I like the number 24 a lot? But I'm always down. Like I said, Peanut, whenever you're ready, whenever you feel like jumping into Monster Hunter, I'll help you out. I'll do whatever I need, answer any questions. Jar Jar, if you ever want to play Helldivers, just let me know.
There you go.
And then obviously, Chris, when you're ready to do more Destiny shenanigans, you can always hit me up.
Yeah, we got to do that dungeon, man. I want to get those cool Star Wars weapons. Get my dark saber.
If you get the Darksaber on your first run, I'm coming to your house.
Oh man, and you guys know where to find me if you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and then as always, I'm talking about Star Wars mostly on the channel. Every once in a while I'll do some gaming, some DC, some other things on the side, so subscribe, appreciate that. I also have my podcast, Outer Rim Transmission. Me and my buddies go live a couple times a month. You can find us on any podcast streaming app there, and we're also on YouTube as well on Sundays, so go find us there. But it's been a wonderful year for gaming. So many awesome games, stories we've got to experience. We want to hear your stories. I know there's a couple of people in the chat tonight mentioning what some of their games were. Somebody said Ghost of Yotei. Somebody else said this game I've never heard of called Abiotic Factor, and apparently it's a very nice survival game. So yeah, yep, that is about it. So thank you everybody for watching and listening. Until this time next year, happy gaming, everybody.